Yeah, what's going on, everybody, man? Arsenal are again winners at Wembley after beating Liverpool 1-1 in the Community Shield. I keep saying Charity Shield. It's like I haven't
How do you
even...
beat someone 1-1, Apollo?
Yeah, on penalties, man. We beat them 1-1. We should have beaten them in normal time. And, we beat them 1-1 and then 5-4 on penalties. And this, guys, remember, is the second time we've beaten the league champions. Yeah, the second time in a month. So some might have called it a fluke. You've heard me and Bertram go on about how horrible we played against them when we beat them 2-1. But this game, we played superbly. And actually, we're going to cover that at the latter end of the player ratings. We're going to go straight into it, guys. We're not going to mess around. But I am going to ask everybody how their week was. Tony, how are you doing this weekend?
I am betwixt and between. It's been a funny week. I mean, yesterday we unfortunately had two amazing bad stories come to press. The loss of Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, and the loss of Cliff Robinson. And, it's sad because, all on the back of a week where we had the shooting in Wisconsin by the 17-year-old white supremacist. So that kind of lowered my tone, and I've been addressing a lot of that through the week. But at the end of the week comes, our little bit of escapism, and I was pleased to watch some sport this weekend. And obviously, it worked out in our favour. We had wins for Lewis Hamilton today. We've had win for Arsenal. Daniel Dubois in the boxing last night.
Yeah, big time.
Overall, it was a good sporting weekend, and it's brought some good feeling to what was really quite a bit of a dour week. Excellent.
Ebony, how are you doing, man? I haven't seen you at work and now seeing you at home. It's a delight to see that somebody mentioned while I was watching the stream yesterday, and I want to say a big thank you to Neomis and Bertram and Ebony. African Gooner, was you on the stream? No, you was watching it with your dad. There was four of you, wasn't there, on the stream, or was it just the three of you?
There was four of us at one time because Tom joined.
Yeah, Tom joined. That's right. Yes, I want to thank all of you guys for keeping it real on the stream. Great commentary from you guys. Really appreciate that. How's your week gone, Ebony?
It's gone great. I mean, obviously, I'm shocked by the news of Chadwick Boseman. Wasn't expecting that. I saw like a notification in my WhatsApp, and it's like, what? I thought it was a joke. But yeah, only 43 years old, had colon cancer for 4 years, kept it quiet, understandably, but it's still a shock. Otherwise, it's been great. We won yesterday, the second trophy in 3 weeks. So it's been absolutely great, absolutely fantastic. I'm elated, but I'm still saddened. I'm still saddened by the fact that Chadwick Boseman is no longer here. I'm getting fed up of white supremacists being allowed to get away with it. But otherwise, my week's been absolutely fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, they're saying that that's the biggest threat in America right now, and actually it has been for the last few decades, has been white supremacy. So listen, I hope that everything changes this November, and then everything
try 400 years.
Yeah. Did you see the post I put on your wall today, Tony? Actually, it was Bertram. Bertram left something on his wall, and I put them on there. So I think I tagged you lot in. Bertram, how has your week in New York been going, my brother? I just want to let you know this is the time of the year where you're normally shaking your booty at Notting Hill Carnival in London, and the weather here at the moment, Bertram, is shit. It is awful here at the moment. Terrible.
I realized that yesterday I saw people in coats watching the game or commentating. I'm like, what the hell is happening? I was telling everybody on the podcast that that's one of the reasons why I left London. I couldn't take the weather. Seriously.
Where'd you live?
It's melancholy weather and I couldn't deal with it. It was very difficult to deal with. It wasn't overly cold there all the time, but it's just sad. It's just raining and damp and dreary. And now I understand why everyone fly off someplace for holidays. Like people are planning 3 years in advance for holidays. Here we just take a week, We're not taking 3 weeks and 2 weeks there. It's like, let me get away from this weather for a while. So fully understand. It's been I wouldn't even say a week. It's been an interesting year, actually. It's been a bad year in a number of sense, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's all these police brutality, racism. It's just been a really one of those years you're going to write off, but yet want to remember, because hopefully it initiates change, material change, not this talk. I'm tired of talking. It's a waste of breath, waste of time. We need to see meaningful change. And it can't be where the conqueror is portraying themselves as a victim. It gets nauseating. It makes no sense, right? You can't be the person who commit all these things and then put yourself in a position where you're deemed as being the victim, and because you control the narrative. That's a waste of time. But we're here to talk football, not to be depressed. So, but it's been a good year for Arsenal, actually, because we went from getting knocked out Europa League previously by Olympiacos to bring a new coach in who can actually speak English. And that sounds really bad, me saying that, but people don't understand how communication is an imperative to get to people. And Emery's language barrier affected his ability because he's a great coach. It's not because he's not a good coach. I think the language barrier is a big impediment for him, even though a lot of coaches go to countries where they can't speak the language. But we're not that forgiving in an English-speaking environment. We think everybody should speak the language, even though we can't speak our languages. At least I can. So that's the interesting situation with Emery. But Arteta is very versed, as someone said. I think you tell me I probably speak like 5 or 7 languages. So he can talk to Gabriel, he can talk to all these people and convince them, but others may not be able to do so. And that going through an agent to talk to someone versus a person talking to you one-on-one is totally different. So that is great to see Arteta imprint being placed on the team. It's great to see the Cronkies trying to make investments, even in difficult times, and trying to back him. We have a long way to go for the window to close. So I'm encouraged not only by the fact that we're going to bring in new people, they're changing the business model. And I've always said this, which is, people don't understand, it starts at the top. You got to have the right strategy, the right plan, and be able to execute. And I know people complain about people being put on furloughs and they're firing people who don't make a lot of money, but they try to make wholesale changes throughout the organization because what they did before didn't work. And so those changes will be reflected on the field at some point in time. So I'm encouraged with all of this. And yesterday was just icing on the cake in beating Liverpool. And I'm sorry to be saying long here, but I was telling Ebony and Phil before we came on that I was on a podcast, watching a Liverpool podcast yesterday, and they were not happy. Now, people big talk about, I don't care about winning. If we lose, so what? It's a charity shield. And yet, they were talking about replacing Firmino, or they need a substitute number 9. Williams is not ready. They need Alisson on the comeback. They need a midfielder. You wouldn't believe that they were champions. And you know what? They have complaints. You couldn't tell they were champions.
I'm glad you said that because I got a bone to pick with La African Gooner. I was listening to his podcast with Sonny last night. If you guys missed that, go and check it out. La African Gooner, brilliant as always. Love his input. But the Eddie Nketiah thing, I'm going to have to address him on that today. I'm definitely have to.
But I wasn't kind to Nketiah in the podcast because Neomis and Emily gave me a hard time. I was a little mean, actually. I'm gonna take it back. I'm taking it all back. Take it all back.
I heard, because when you heard what Liverpool fans were saying, I was in their forums and they were talking about his excellent movements and the chances he was creating. Yeah, he had one saved by Alisson and he missed another chance. But Mane had two chances which was saved by Martinez, and Salah didn't even hit the target 3 times. And they were saying, why can't they be as sharp as this? There were balls getting played into the box by Robertson, and some of the Liverpool forwards weren't even there. And it's at least Nketiah was getting himself into position. Strikers, if you score, you have a great game. If you don't score, then you don't have a good game. That's not what happened with Nketiah. Was brilliant yesterday, and I'll talk about that when we come onto the player ratings. And I've got some.
Apollo, I would the brilliant thing.
No, not brilliant. I only gave him 6.5 out of 5. Out of 10.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I want to talk about the tactics that were employed by Arteta defensively, which really made him have a great impact on the game. But before I go to La African Kakuna, I do want to pick up on something you said, which is really important. It's very special and passionate to me when the NBA players went on, they stopped playing because of what happened. And people thought that it was just in conjunction with what happened. And it was with the shooting, but they had no intention of coming back. And I don't think people understood that. The players stopped. Kenny Smith walked out the studio. According to LeBron James, the players had no passion to come back because they felt that they wasn't being heard. And it wasn't until Obama went and met up with some of the players and went to talk to them, and they gave Obama a lot of stick as well because of some of the issues. Like, I love Obama as a president. I think he was amazing, but I have my beef with Obama too. Michigan Flint, anybody, you can check it out and read it up on Google about the Watergate issue that was going on there. But at the end of the day, the players weren't happy with what Obama was saying, but they all came together because Obama at the end said to them, if you want to make change, spread your message on the pitch, do it on the court. That's where you make a difference. That's where you spread your message.
I'm not an Obama fan, so I won't say anything about it.
Yeah, but that's where they came back. Yeah, they gave him a lot of stick, but that's where they came back. So that's why we have basketball again. Now, African Gooner, how's your weekend, bro?
My weekend's been good. Just quickly on the Nketiah point, I'm sure we're gonna get to it, but I'm gonna be fair and reflect on why I say certain things. And I do have a very good example, including Ainsley Maitland-Niles, to why I feel that way about Nketiah. But we'll touch upon that a bit later. This week's been great for me. It kind of flew by, to be honest. Work has been very, very busy. So yeah, just flew by this weekend. I moved apartments as well, so that was also took a lot of my time. As you said, I was on Sunny's podcast for a little bit yesterday, just to get my feelings out. And yeah, I mean, didn't expect that at all. When I saw that starting lineup, I was very disappointed.
So was Bertrand.
I really thought, looking at Liverpool's team, and honestly, unless you're Thai or you're drinking, some crazy stuff, there's no way that you're looking at those two team sheets and thinking that Arsenal have any chance in that game. And I think that's a fair reflection. And those who think that I'm negative, I'm just being real, because I used to be like Tom and think that Arsenal's going to win every single game. And I realized that that's not realistic. And as an Arsenal fan, the quicker you learn to reduce that expectation and actually be fair in your reflection, the better it is going to be for your heart. Because then when you do lose 3-4-0 against Liverpool, which usually does happen, then you're not going to cry about it because it's expected. So yeah, I'm really happy that the boys won. I'm willing to be wrong every time if it means that Arsenal wins, because that's my agenda. My agenda is for Arsenal to win at all costs, even if I'm wrong. So I'm glad that they won the trophy.
Excellent. So I want to say a big shout out to people in the chat. Carletto, what's good, bro? Carletto saying, Tony, you got the story wrong. It wasn't white supremacists. 17-year-old kid attacked by a Black Lives Matter group. Oh, I'm not sure about that. I think I'll have to check that up, mate, because from what I saw, they said it was black supremacists. Big shout out to you, Alex, in the chat. Big shout out to 18. Big shout out to Cool K. Big shout out to Figure Beats from Goon Squad. Again, we need to get that Goon Squad number up. And guys, if you're not sure of what the Goon Squad number is, go to my Twitter page. Description is in the comment section below. Well, not in the comment section, in the description. You can see there my Twitter handle, and the Goon Squad telephone number is in there, and you can go on there and you can join the boys for some live Arsenal banter. And I warned you lot before, if you ain't got your A game and you can't take your licks, then don't come in, because it's bare man there in there that knows their football. Yeah. Nice one, Alex, as I said. And evening, Kez, what's going on to you, bro? And Sonny and Miguel, big up you guys as well, man. Fantastic channel. And listen, I like to think of Sonny TV, Alex, Cannon Fodder TV, and a few of the other guys as brother channels, man. I don't say sister channels, as brother channels, because, we're all in unison and we all love the game. And what's important as YouTubers, we all support each other. And that's something, I'm not going to mention any other channels' names, but that's something that has not been something that's been done in the past with many Arsenal channels. So really, really big shout out to those two guys there. Fantastic channels, great content. Subscribe to them if you can. Before we go into the player ratings, I want to let you guys know what our followers have thought about it. I do polls up on the channel. And let's look at one of the polls now. This one says, who was the man of the match against Liverpool? So we've got 9% Martinez, 77% Maitland-Niles, 9% Aubameyang, and just 6% Saka. And that's from the fans. Yeah. Next one is, under Arteta's amazing management, where will Arsenal finish this season? Wow. 94% of people have now said top 4. Yeah, remember, only 6% last month said it was top 4. Now, 94% of fans are saying they think we can finish in the top 4. 3% are saying 5th, 2% are saying 6th, and 2% are saying we'll finish 7th or 8th. Moving down, got to keep up with this, guys. Moving down, who would you rather take back? Yeah, 83 fans voted. 28% said Guendouzi. 19% said Ozil. 53% neither. Both of them can go. Last one, last poll here, guys. Who is the most important player to sell? Guendouzi got 57%. He was the most important. I guess that's because the fans can see that he has resale value and that we'll get a bit of money for him, and then Partey will come in. Only 12% said Socrates. 25% said Klasnach. 5% said Mustafi. And look, guys, I think this is where I was last week when we were talking about it. Just 1% of fans said that they will want to get rid of Torreira. All right, so let's go back and let's now focus on Martinez. Yeah. So guys in the chat, as always, listen, big up T in Goon Squad. T, fling at that number. You know, I like to show that number for Goon Squad to show everybody where that they can go to get 24 hours a day banter from Arsenal. And now when I mean 24 hours a day, I mean 24 hours a day up to the minute. No, not up to the minute, up to the second news of Arsenal, yeah? Check out the Goon Squad. T, leave the number up. T said midday, yeah. So, Tony, Martinez, give us your ratings and grade for Martinez. Guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Martinez. Marks out of 10, please. Go on, Tony.
I'm torn between a 9 and a 10, to be honest. Made some absolutely fantastic saves. His distribution was superb. So I'm kind of torn between a 9 and a 10. I'm going to give him a 9. Yep. So we've got a 9 for Martinez, and Ebony can't wait to jump in right here. Ebony, what would you give Martinez?
Well, you don't know how happy I was when I heard that he was in goal. I wanted to kiss whoever made that decision.
You know why? Because they were winding you up all week talking about. And the thing is, listen, I was told by Colin on Wednesday he might not play because he was in quarantine. But I think they released him on Thursday. So Friday he was actually at practice. So like David Luiz, he only got 1 day of practice, but he's a goalkeeper. What practice do you need? He was probably throwing the ball against the wall at home trying to. So go on, Ebony.
I'm going to give him a 9 as well. You know, the way you can't fault anything about his performance. I mean, he couldn't have saved the goal. You know, nothing he could have done about the goal. But his distribution, his command in his area, his command of the players, his shot stopping, his whole game as a goalkeeper is on point. I'm going to give him a 9 because he hasn't disappointed me yet. I don't think he will. I hope he won't. But yeah, I was happy to have seen him play yesterday because he is our number 1, and he not go nowhere.
Yeah, and when I come to my part, I'm going to talk about that because we're hearing a lot of things at the moment. Bertrand, before you go, let's hear what the guys are saying. Carletto, oh, what was that? Okay, hold on a second. Right, Carletto. Where are we? Carletto has given him a solid 8. 18 has given him a 9. He saved us. He sure did, bro. He sure did. Cricket Ball's given him an 8.5. Cool K has given him an 8. Adrian, what's good, bro, has given him an 8. And T has given him an 8.5 only because he didn't keep it clean. Yeah, a goal wasn't his fault. It was 6 yards. It was point blank range. And from there, very few goalkeepers can do anything about that. If it was further outside, then maybe he would have had a chance. But and the ball was bubbling around in there as well. It came off a few players. They thought it came off an arm as well, and the VAR looked at it. So it could have gone anywhere. It's one of those things. Kez has given him an 8.5, and Figure Beats gives him a 9.
I like the way he actually the block that he did against Mane's goal.
Mm.
When he was on the floor, and then he used his chest to block it out.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't notice from him is after the game he rolled up his sleeves and showed his guns, and I didn't know the guy was that built. I mean, I know he's a bigger presence than Leno size wise. He is so imposing. I didn't know his wingspan was as huge as it was. This dude right here. Listen, anyway, I went on record 2 weeks ago and said I think he can potentially become not just the best goalkeeper in the Premiership, but one of the top 5 goalies in the world. I said that, and I'm going to hold my hand up to it. Bertrand Martinez.
I gave him an 8. I didn't think he had a ton to do, actually, which is interesting. So Liverpool dominated possession. They had I think Robinson had 15 crosses into the box.
Yeah, he was their man of the match.
Right? I mean, they had a lot of possession also. But he didn't have to make a ton of saves. He came out twice to block close in plays. He had one shot he saved from, I forgot who took it, but he didn't have a lot of saves actually, which is interesting.
2 point-blank saves against Mane.
He didn't have a ton of saves. Not the game where you're making saves all over the place, but where he had to make himself big, spread, and reduce the danger. He did that really, really well. I think you alluded to this, which is he's a very imposing figure. And he's pretty wide when he's in the goal. It probably looks like he probably take up half the goal when he's in there if you're cold, because on the goal that Minamino scored, actually, he was spread really wide. He placed it really well, but even on that goal, you could have missed if you're forward because of how wide he spread himself. So I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Leonard to regain his place, given how well Martinez is playing.
In relation to your comment, Bertrand, Liverpool had a lot of shots, but they only had 3 shots on target for the whole game.
Yeah, no, he didn't have we talked about it in the podcast, actually. He didn't have a lot of saves, especially in the first half. Second half, there were a couple of breakaways, semi-breakaways that they got. But no, I gave him an 8, just because of I'm going to call it lack of activity. Obviously, he played really well. He didn't make any mistakes. He couldn't save the goal. The ball it wasn't a well-created goal by Liverpool, which was the most interesting part of the game, actually, which is, and Klopp talked about this, they didn't break us down. They didn't play the ball between the lines and run into the ball. It was a really goal where Salah did something. It hit on Holding, Salah, Suarez, and bounced into Minamino. So, no, he played well, as he normally does, actually. He hasn't had a bad game to date, which is saying a lot for someone playing since the restart.
Yeah, and African Gooner, before you go, any more scores on the doors? What's good, Sporty? Waiting to hear your marks out of 10 for Martinez, the goalkeeper, for yesterday's performance. Sporty does say, Apollo, the only reason why Torreira is 1% is because others definitely need to go, but don't take this as a mandate to keep him. When party arrives, he's barbecue chicken. Listen, I had the thought. Look, we're going to come on to Elneny, so what you're saying is covered in that one as well. So we'll talk about that as we move on. But Sporty does say 8.5. We need to make a goalkeeper decision, and so I think we probably already have made a goalkeeper decision, and that decision told you when the team sheet was released yesterday exactly what was going on. Colin also told me yesterday, and the Independent actually picked up on it this morning, that he's about to sign a new contract. Arteta has said to him one thing and one thing only: you will remain in the position that you are as far as games played, as long as you keep up the form. And look, Arteta makes the guys accountable. Yeah, he's very ruthless. What he does, we've seen what he did to Maitland-Niles when he was late for practice twice. He weren't having it. Yeah, and just before the turn of the year, Maitland-Niles weren't even in the squad, and he was one of the most consistent players under Emery. So listen, this guy, Arteta's not joking. When he tells you you're going to remain my guy, and as long as you keep this form up, that's probably the reason why Martinez is looking to sign a contract. So all these rumors you guys are hearing about him being sold, ignore them. They're not true. And I've heard that by one of the agent, well, one of the main agents and one of the inside guys at London Coney. So, African Gooner, where are you with Martinez?
Yeah, I have actually maybe 3 or 4 points on Martinez. The first one is that yesterday I officially jumped onto Ebony's train. that game was like the push over the line for me to really say that Martinez definitely needs to stay number one over Leno. And I think maybe it also has to do with we haven't seen Leno play in months, and now we're so used to seeing Martinez and we're so comfortable and so confident in him. It's hard to even picture Leno coming back in. The second one is that, Aston Villa thinking about offering £10 million for Martinez. Are they mad? That is insulting. That is absolutely insulting. Martinez is actually younger than Leno, which a lot of people make that mistake. I think maybe because of how big he is and he just looks older. But I think in the future, I mean, he's definitely going to be, like you said, Apollo, top 5. For me, I'm giving him an 8.5. Bertram said he didn't have many saves to make. I don't really care about how many saves he had to make. When he had to make the saves that mattered, he made them. Those saves against Mane, the one with his hand, absolutely incredible. And one thing that I want to point out is that when Aubameyang and Van Dijk went in for the coin the coin toss to decide who's taking penalties, Liverpool obviously won the toss, and Van Dijk said, we want to take penalties first. And you know what Martinez said? Martinez looked at him straight in the eyes, fierce eyes, and he said, are you sure? Are you sure you want to take the first penalty? And that's what I want my goalkeeper to be telling Van Dijk. Are you sure you want to take the first penalty against me? Bro, listen, man, that's top-class quality. That's what you want to hear about your goalkeeper, regardless of if they're good or not. That's the mentality I want from my players, from all my players. And, yeah, beast mode, man. I mean, he didn't save any, but his presence, I was confident that, we know that Sheck never saved the penalty. And Leno also, he hardly saves penalties ever. Yeah. When he went in, I was so confident in that penalty shootout that he was gonna make a difference. And we won.
I think I'll answer that. I went to Liverpool's the Reds fan thing, and one of their interviews, the guy who missed the penalty for Liverpool, he said, and if you look, Martinez actually, when the ball hit the crossbar, Martinez is going that right way, and he's actually got his arm up. And the player said that the goalie was so imposing, I thought he was actually going to save it, and then I put too much on it. He wanted to go for power because he said if I hit it normally, the goalkeeper would, and if he did hit it normally and it was low, Martinez went the right way and he had his hand up, he probably would have saved it. The replay shows that. So the player said, I just got put off by the imposing size of the goalkeeper, and I put too much on it. That's what the player said. So that goes to the point that you're making. They go and finish off.
I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Only because I feel, perhaps Aubameyang. Giving him 9, 10 is I think he was a 9 or 10, but there was also some other great players. So I'm going to give him an 8.
So I've given him an 8.5, and again twice. Remember, it's not the 2 saves that he made from Sane. What you have to remember is, I think Bertram alluded to this. He came off his line to make the saves. A lot of goalkeepers in those situations are planted. That was one of the issues we had with Peter Cech. This guy came off his line at speed. So that's the vision to spot danger, shorten the area of the goal, and then make the save. He did it twice. And that, guys, kept us in the game. It really did. And look, he's just so full of confidence. I'm not going to go too much about him because you guys have already said it. I'm giving him an 8.5. So, guys, let's go on to Hector Bellerin. Guys in the chat, can you put your numbers up for Hector Bellerin, please, Guy? Tony, Hector Bellerin.
Hector Bellerin. Okay, so what I didn't think he had a bad game. What I can say is I was pleased that he was being quite decisive with Saka in front of him, because first half, Robertson was just tearing down the left, and cross after cross after cross was coming in at the box. And I was getting really frustrated with Saka. And then Bellerin really gave him the 5th degree. And then it sort of went, okay, yep, we sorted this out. And it slowed down the pace to which we were receiving those balls. Having said that, Liverpool had a better second half than they did have the first half. But originally, I was of the opinion that we weren't strong enough down our right-hand side, because that was Liverpool's side where the danger was most coming from. Obviously, they had the youngster at their right back, and he was ineffective through the game. But Robertson was absolutely tearing us a new one when it comes to penetrating and delivering what were very good crosses. So for that, I'm going to give Bellerin an 8, because I think he kind of was aware of what was going on, and he made some adjustment.
It was a really good game from Hector. And before I go on, actually, let's do some of the guys now. We've got some figures piling up now in the chat. And guys, thank you. I just want to say a big thank you to all the new subscribers. In the last month, we've had 500 new subscribers. And I just want to say thank you very much to all of you new guys. And just be a part of it. Let us hear what you've got to say. Let us hear your comments. Let us hear your marks out of 10 and what you think of the players. There's going to be a lot more content up, a lot more polls up on the site as well. And in the future, when we really get going, as the channel picks up this year, we'll be doing some giveaways as well. So I need to have a look into that. But give me time. I'm not Arsenal Fan TV, so I don't have 10 people working in productions with me. I've got to do this all by myself. So bear with me. Bellerin, 18 has given him a 7. Adrian's given him a 6.5. Figure Beats has given him a 7. Carletto's given him a 7 as well. Kuke, bare 7s around, man. Kuke's given him a 7. T is giving him the nutmeg, 8.5. Ooh, listen, man. Yeah, because he took him out the game. He did. He took out. Listen, we'll talk about Arteta and tactics after we finish with the players. But yes, he took him out of the game. Scricketball's given him a 7. Saka left him hanging a few times and he had to clean up. Yeah. But there's a reason for that, as we'll come on later. Bellerin 8, and this mark, it becomes more apparent when I saw Cedric. Yeah, and I've been saying over the weeks that Cedric looks like he's going to hang that spot, but boy, on this form, I don't think so. You're a lot slimmer than Robbie as well. I'm not going to say nothing. I don't want to get myself into trouble. Robbie's a good mate of mine. Ebony, what would you give Hector Bellerin?
I give him a 7. I mean, he was a threat going down that left-hand side, but I mean, he couldn't handle Robertson at all for a time. Not quite sure what that is, because I mean, he has pace and he has the pace to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he was more on he was more confined to his area, where the tactics was very tight. But again, we'll talk about that afterwards with Arteta. Yeah,
but I don't think he had a bad game. He did what he is famous for doing, and I think he's slowly coming back into the speed, into the player that we know him as. So yeah, I give him a 7.
Excellent. Bertram, Bellerin.
I gave him a 6.5. I thought he started the game on fire. He was playing really well, and he faded throughout the game. He started really well, playing well, passing well. And then as the game progressed and they got more into the game, especially Robertson, because it's where he plays in sort of a pseudo role between, is it Robertson my mark or is it Mane my mark? Because Holding's going to come across. Saka's supposed to be helping. So it's almost in a no man land sometime. I don't think he was as effective at the latter part of the first half and the early second half as he was in the early part of the game. So I gave him a 6.5.
6.5. African Gooner, what would you give Bellerin?
Yeah, I think that Bellerin is definitely improving in his game. He's definitely playing with more confidence. It looks like he's kind of shaken off his injury. I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. I mean, it's he's had enough time, and he looks fully fit. I mean, he looks faster, in the last few games than he has all season for me. That nutmeg was amazing, but I mean, it's just a nutmeg at the end of the day. Yes, I loved it, but it doesn't take his rating from a 6 or 7 to an 8 or a 9. It is good to see. I did think that it was good to see some of his leadership qualities when he got upset at Saka rightfully and told him, how come back. Basically, he was marking 2-man and they almost scored from it, right? They got a cross in and I think it was Xhaka or Holding who blocked it, and he looked at Saka saying like, "What are you doing, man? Wake up!" And I like to see that, because I want to see players telling other players, especially when they're right, that they need to be doing the work that is expected of them. So yeah, I'm gonna give Hector Bellerin a 7, and I think, as someone said in the comments, when we saw Cedric Suarez, which I know Tony is not a big fan of, I'm also kind of seeing what Tony's saying. I mean, yeah, yeah, I'm giving Bellerin a 7.
Cool case saying Apollo's better looking than Robbie too and drives a better car.
Oh, you both drive Beamers.
Yeah, I was just about to say we both drive BMWs. But yeah, my one's a little bit more nicer than his. For me, guys, Hector Bellerin, again, I gave him a 7. Threat going forward. He defended with discipline, struggled a little bit with Robinson. Robinson was able to get some quality crosses in. And look, that's no knock on Hector. I think the one thing I'm going to keep repeating to you guys on the panel and everybody in the chat is we're playing the best team in the league here. Yeah. And me and Bertram talked about how awful we was when we beat them 2-1 and said that we would like to see a game where we beat them and we perform better. And in this game, we performed a hell of a lot better. I mean, I couldn't believe that, like you guys, when I saw the team sheet, and I went for a 1-0 win. I predicted we were going to win 1-0. And when I saw the team sheet, the African Gooner said in the chat, I can't remember which chat it was. He was like, oh, God, I can see us losing 3-1. And then I said to the African Gooner, yeah, I think I'm going to have to change my prediction. And then what happened? Oh, God, Ebony, Neomis, and Bertrand was carrying that commentary. And I was tuning in. And I couldn't, guys, I had my ceiling half taken down. And the power was cut. I had no lighting, so you would have seen a dark room, and it wasn't a good look. So I couldn't join in. And I was so impressed with what happened yesterday in the first half. But we have to remind ourselves, guys, we're playing Liverpool. Yeah, not only the best team in the league, but one of the best teams in Europe. And we're playing them like this. We've beaten them twice in the last 2 games. What are we, guys? Come on, let's get on the bandwagon. We're doing an amazing job. And these players we're judging them and we're giving them grades against the best team in the league. So that's where I'm at with this at the moment. And I thought Bellerin, although I'm giving him a 7, I thought he held his own against what is the best left back in the league. So yeah, well done to Hector on that one. So guys, David Luiz, this guy's, oh, hold on. Kuke's put Eddie Nketiah, Maitland-Niles, Saka performed with craft and energy. Young players who have clearly responded to the demands of their new manager. Totally agree, bro. And guys, listen, remember, you can make donations to the channel from as little as £2. Everything helps out, and I really appreciate what you guys have been doing supporting the channel. I really have, guys. It's so special. Every penny means everything to the channel. I just wanted to say that. And again, a lot of things are going to change this season. We're going to be streaming live to Facebook as well as YouTube as well. So a lot of things are going to be happening. Tony, we've got David Luiz.
Yeah, David Luiz had a good game, I thought. He was very commanding from the middle of the park. His distribution was superb. I think he marshaled the 2 youngsters either side of him in Holding and Tierney. So I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I think he was very commanding in what was a very defensive unit.
Excellent.
Bertram, oh my God, what have I said to upset Bertram? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm not upset. I'm watching African Gooner's face.
Bertram gets upset every week. Don't mind Bertram. Guys in the chat as well, give us your number, your grade for David Luiz. Listen, I gave David Luiz a 7. It wasn't his normal self, but it's funny. Every time I give this guy, every time I say this guy's a bad game, it's because, in the Man City game, he didn't train. He didn't even start. Then he came on because obviously the injury. In this game, he trained for 1 day. Arteta was very straightforward about that. So he wasn't his normal self, but he looked a little bit short, but he still kept his head level and played the disciplined game. And I thought it was quite solid. So let's go and see what our guys are saying. Scricketball's given him an 8. Cool K's given him an 8. Luiz has been overlooked in this game. Superb interceptions because of his positioning as well. Not his biggest fan, but a credit to him and big respect to that, bro. T's given Luiz an 8. Pingled a couple of Swedes and kept it solid. Agreed. Carletto has given him a 7.5. Adrian's given him a 7. Sporty said, Luiz, a shaky, solid 7.5. Shaky. Style has given him a 7. Ebony, David Luiz.
Where are people going with 8s? And Tony, where are you going with the 8? Listen, I'm giving the guy 6. Sorry, he does not. I don't think he played that well for me. I'm sorry, he really didn't play that well for me. He gave the ball away while trying to play it from the back, way too often for me. And for me, he looked nervous when doing it as well. But he did, there were points to his game in which he defended well. But for me, he gave the ball far too much. He gave the ball away far too much. And, we know he can play better. But then again, this is David Luiz we're talking about. He's random. He's very random. And this game, he was random. 6.
Bravo.
She said random. He's very consistent, Ebony, man. And you're gonna see even more consistency from him when this team develops, because
consistently random.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think he's the most important part of the team when everything comes to pass, and that first 11 starts to mold itself into make a run for the top 4. I was talking to a few agents today, and they actually agree with me, because I can see what Arteta's doing now. I'm going off key a little bit, but we've all talked about 3 at the back, how this is really working for him well right now. And will he, or if he will ever make that move back to 4, which we know he wants to. I think that's probably not going to happen right now. I think he's going to go with Gabriel on the left. He's going to go with Luiz in the middle to give the experience. And then he's going to go with William Saliba on the right. I think that's going to be his back 3, and I think that's how we'll work ourselves throughout the season. And Luiz is going to be very important in terms of guiding the young guys in that back line. Bertrand, before I go to you, 18 has gone 7.5. He said Ebony, he had 1 day's training. Sporty's saying, what did Luiz do to Ebony? I don't know, man. Mate, listen, whatever he did, I'm going to get 18. I'm going to get 18 to sort him out.
I don't think he deserved an 8 on that particular yesterday's day.
Yeah, no way.
But,
no, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Listen, all views are respected. All views are subjective. Yeah, not everyone's going to give the same views. Figure Beats has given him 7.5, and Sonny is saying, what bid would you accept money for Auntie?
I think he's talking about me.
Yeah, he's talking about everything.
Oh, yeah. What bid would you accept for? Yeah, what bid? So that's a question to you, Ebony.
What bid would you accept for Auntie?
No, that's a question for me. Okay,
yeah, that's a question for you.
It looks like Sonny wants to buy you so you can come over to his channel. It's probably gonna have to be a hard. We're gonna have to work on that.
It's Messi's price. It's Messi's price.
624 million release clause for Messi. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
I'm finished. The African Gooner.
Well, you missed Bertrand.
Bertrand, go ahead, mate. David Luiz.
So I cannot give any person in the center of the park yesterday a less than a 7 when we had 15 crosses from Robinson in the box, when no goals were scored from those crosses, when they didn't break our defense down at all to score a goal. It was a flipsy goal that they scored. No matter what transpired, no one in the middle of the park, whether it's Xhaka or Elneny or Holding or Luiz, because Holding didn't have a great game, can get less than a 7. Because we're talking about Liverpool, the highest scoring team in the game. The highest, you can shake your head all you want, African Gooner, but the facts are the facts. If you didn't score a goal, you're Liverpool. You really didn't score. That goal wasn't even a real goal.
Yeah,
it's
true.
A flimsy.
Is that because we were good or they were bad? Is that because
we were good?
They were bad?
Wait, they weren't bad. We made them look bad. See, I think what Liverpool fans are forgetting, and what Arsenal fans are forgetting, is the structure of the team and the construct of the team and how they were aligned made it very difficult to break down. We played a game like we played Man City a few years ago. We beat them 2-1 at home in their yard, which is you
2-0.
play real deep. It was a 2-0. I thought it was 2-1. 2-0.
2-0.
Cazorla played that game in midfield where you play real deep, you're really compact, and you play on the break. You play counter-attacking football, and we had more clinical chance than they did. I cannot say David Luiz shouldn't. I gave him a 7.5. He made a couple of bad tackles here. I'm not giving everyone the 8, right? You got to be really good to get an 8 like Martinez. But Martinez didn't have a ton of work to do either, guys. Think about it this way. My keeper wasn't bombarded with shots. They had 15 crosses. None of them got on goal. Some were near misses. They didn't penetrate us through the middle. That means your middle was extremely compact. So I gave him a 7.5, which is a great grade for me, actually.
And that's good because, again, you're talking about the best left back in the Premiership. And again, we don't normally cover Arteta, but we have to do it now. One, because we've got the time to do it. And two, because I think we really need to talk about Arteta today in the player ratings. I'm just telling you now, Arteta gets a 10. And you guys have never, ever, ever, ever heard me give a 10 in the player ratings. And I'm giving him a 10 because, look, You can go and beat Wolves, you can go and beat Man City, you can go and beat Chelsea, you can go and beat Liverpool. But I think the look on, and this is where it is for me, yeah? I'm being straight up with all of you guys. And you guys know I was the first person, with Ebony, to say we were going to finish in the top 4 next season. The look on Klopp's face today, African Goon as well. The look on Klopp's face yesterday when he was giving his interview, when they said what went wrong, and he said, look, they're a great team and they have a great manager and he's going to do amazing things. That's it, guys. There's no covering it up. There's no messing around. No cherry on the top. No trying to hide it. They got out-coached. And we'll address that when we come up to Arteta. The African Gooner, what would you give Luiz?
Luiz? Yeah, no. So Bertram, I see where you're coming from, and I don't want to discredit our performance, but I also do think that we need to be fair in our reflection. I don't think that Liverpool were at their peaks. I think they were good, but it's not the best we've ever seen them. I think if they were playing at the top of their game, we would have had a much harder game. I'm not discrediting the structure of the team. Definitely, we can see that David Luiz is important. Yeah, go ahead, Bertram.
We had one training session. Let me repeat.
Yes, I know.
We had couple training sessions and one practice game. They've been playing for the last 15, 20 days. They were in Austria playing a couple of games.
Yeah, they had 8 days of training and 2 preseason games.
That's fine. You can have 3 months of training, but it doesn't mean that every game you're going to show up to your best, right? I just don't think Liverpool were at their best, but I'm not discrediting Arsenal. We were really good. I'm just saying that if Liverpool were clicking in top gear, I think it might have been a little bit different. And I do think that if they scored earlier, before the 70th minute, it would have been a different game because we were holding on. Let's not kid ourselves. We were holding on, and we were lucky that they only scored later in the game because I think if they had more time, they could have gotten the second. We had no creativity in the second half. After Aubameyang's goal, we had a little bit in the first half, but the second half, not so much. In regards to David Luiz, yeah, Tony? Yeah, we'll get to those. We'll
get to those. African Gooner, we're gonna totally destroy your perspective. We'll get to those. Keep going. We're gonna get to them.
For it. I'm giving you what I feel, right? I'm being honest in my reflection. This is how I feel.
And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. We welcome that.
So, in terms of what Ebony was saying, I also think that David Luiz was very random. So, he can have 3-4 good defensive headers and then try to make a pass, and he gives it like a Xhaka pass straight into the middle. It happened. He gave it straight to the midfield of Liverpool. And a lot of times when he goes long balls, everyone knows he's going to do it. So opposition teams knows every single time he's going to go for it. It doesn't come off, and he gives the ball away by doing that, right? Because we can have a free kick. He tries to do over the top ball and he gives it away. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I don't think it was his best game either. Apollo, you're right. I do think he's going to be important with Gabriel and Saliba. I'm going to give him a 6.75 because I don't think he was better than Bellerin.
Okay, why am I getting inbox? Okay, guys, you're gonna have to give me a bit of time because please don't send me messages inbox. Put them on the chat. So one of my mates who doesn't want to turn up in the panel in the chat is a Liverpool fan, and he's I know. So let me put his comments here. Oh dear. Why? Okay, so I've put his comments here. Dear oh dear. So he said, I'm a Liverpool fan. I was really impressed with how Arsenal play. Always had a soft spot for them, and it's great to see them playing some good football and winning trophies after what they've been through. Yeah, he's couldn't finish after what they've been through. Eddie, outstanding. Yeah, look, I could see Eddie in Liverpool's front three. That would be nice to see. For me, guys, I've already given you.
What do you mean front three? He's carrying the shoes. What is he doing?
Will you leave the boy alone?
Guys, we're going to do Rob Holding now. Very difficult one, this, and I was really kind of buzzing. We've heard about Maitland-Niles, we've heard about Rob Holding. And when I looked at it after the game, I was like, is Arteta playing these guys to showcase them? Is that what he's doing? Because he's not doing a very good job of it, because the fans are up in voice now with Maitland-Niles and Rob Holding, and the fans are also starting to talk about how good Elneny looks in the midfield. Now, that's not to say Elneny is a world beater. It's probably more to say that Xhaka isn't, yeah? In terms of where me and Bertram have talked about our inability to play possessional football in the midfield. Look, Elneny has always been a tidy player. He was when he was at Basel. He was when he was at loan last season. He was with Arsenal. He's always been a tidy player. The hit on him is that he doesn't play progressive football. Too many passes sideways and backways. But what he is adept at is possessional football. He's good with the ball at his feet. He knows how to. He's got very high passing accuracy, and that has happened from the days of when Wenger brought him in. And he doesn't give the ball away, and he's always been that player. So when you sort of put him against somebody like Xhaka, who you see who's a kind of a bit of a loose cannon, he does look a decent player. And look, I talked on one-on-one today, and I said, yes, you need 11 great players. You need 11 good players as starter, but you also need 25 adapt players that you can work in rotation that are solid. And I think that he's a good squad player. My problem is the last time, what happened to him when he was here was awful. He was playing left back, centre back. It was just, what are you doing with this guy? And I think fans just got worse because, he's crap at centre back. Well, he ain't a centre back. Don't blame him for playing a position that he's the guy's 5'9" and he's playing centre back. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. So listen, let's talk about Rob Holding before we go to Tony. Adrian's given him a 6.5. T has given him a 6, and Scricket Ball has given him a 6.5 as well. T saying Lucky came on good to. I say, man, for real, bro. Tony, talk to me about Rob Holding.
Rob Holding, wow. Well done, Rob Holding, because he had, for me, the most difficult task on the pitch, marking Sadio Mane out the game. Because to me, Sadio Mane is the most dangerous player Liverpool had. And he reduced him to nothing. Literally nothing. So well done, Rob Holding. He had a very good game. I'm giving him an 8.5.
Yeah, he was outstanding. Look, I'm not gonna. You guys know I'm probably the biggest Rob Holding fan, and I have been since the day he walked through the door, because I watched a lot of his games at his previous club, and I thought he was one of the best buys that Wenger has had for 2 million. He was our best centre back when we had a 22-game unbeaten streak. When he got injured against Man United, that really killed him off, and he hasn't really recovered from that. Came back, had that man of the match game against Southampton, and then they didn't even pick him in the next 3 games. He was solid in the FA Cup semi-final again, just like 3 years ago against Chelsea. FA Cup winner, solid in the final, and he was solid again yesterday. And I mean, I don't know what I think the guy understands that there's other players coming in, and he's not going to be a part of it. So that's probably why he wants to leave. So look, fair play to him, and big shout out to his agent as well. But look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I gave him a 7.5 as well yesterday, and I thought that I just thought he was quality, and he's getting back to the form that we know that he can play at. We've got an 8 as well from Cool K, showed at Wembley why they would want him. Dealt with Liverpool's potent front three well, only let Mana get him behind them once. Carletto is saying Holding 7, but he has to move on. I think I kind of agree with the fact that he has to move on, because look, Carletto, you can't have a player of that caliber sitting on the bench for the whole season. Sonny is just, I wouldn't trust him holding my jacket. Yeah, I don't think he's in our plans, Sonny. I don't think he's in our plans, and I think he will move on. And it's just a matter of how much money we get for him. Ebony,
I'd give Rob Holding a 7 for the fact that he dealt with the Liverpool's front three the way that he did, and the fact that somebody alluded to that Mane only got behind him once. So that just goes to show the kind of defender that he is. And I don't want to see him go. I don't particularly want to see him go to another Premier League. And I think, I think to keep him, you can keep him as a squad player, because we know what he can do. yeah, we know, and I'm Martinez's wife, but yeah, but yeah, uh, but yeah, I felt Rob Holding, did a good job yesterday. I'm going to give him 7. I'd have actually given him a higher mark had he not allowed Mane to get behind him. I know it was only once, but a 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first game Holding has allowed someone to get behind him. Now, this is Mane, and it will happen. And David Luiz actually kept him on side. Wasn't total, but we're not playing a high line, so you shouldn't be able to get behind you in that way. We weren't truly playing a high line. Having said that, I gave him a 7. As I said, nobody in the middle get less than a 7 from me yesterday. I actually increased all my grades by 0.5.
Yeah.
Just thinking through the game holistically about what transpired, who we played, the quality of the players we played against, the goals that were scored that weren't scored, the ultimate result. I can't give anybody that center of the park. On the wings, yes, I thought too many crosses came in, but less than a 7.
So T says, I feel like our players turned into the Terminator, Marvel Avengers. Bayern, hey, listen, why not the Justice League? The Justice League is stronger than the Avengers, bro. The Bayern Munich androids when it comes to Wembley.
So that's French to me. I only speak English and I don't really follow those things, so I have no idea. I have no idea.
No parler, monsieur, no parler.
Exactly.
African Gooner. Also hold on. Training guy gives him a 7 out of 10 as well. Bit 7s for Rob Holding. It's good to see, man. And guys, remember, it's not about the starting 11. If you're making a run at the Premiership for 38 games in a tighter space now, you're gonna need a squad of 25. So look. The fans can say, yeah, he's shit, he ain't good enough, he can't start, but you need the squad of 25. What happens if Saliba gets injured? What happens if something happens to
It's not the Premiership, Apollo. That's the Rugby League. It's a Premier League. It's not the Premiership, it's the Premier League. It'll be exact in this forum. Premiership is a Rugby League. Premier League is the football. It's a soccer league. Thank you.
Yeah, we know that, but yeah, it's still the same for me, mate. African Gooner, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I think between him and David Luiz, I think he was definitely the better player. He's going on loan to Newcastle. I'm pretty sure that's a done deal. You heard it here first. So I think that the aim is to get him out on loan to increase his value. And then next season when he comes back, if he has a good season, because the thing is he's not going to get a consistent game of run of games at Arsenal, right? He's not going to be starting for us. We have Gabriel, we have David Luiz, and we have Saliba in our starting 11. He's realistically, he's not going to get the game time that he needs. So what we're going to do is take him to Newcastle, let him play in that first team, let him build up his confidence, come back from the injury because he had a horrible injury, and then we can see if he has a good season. Either Arteta is going to keep him, depending on how we're looking and who we still have. If we still have Mustafi and Socrates and all these other guys, if not, then we'll sell him for a higher value next season. But yeah, I'm giving him a 7.5. I think he had a really good game. And typically when Holding's first game for Arsenal was against Chelsea in the Community Shield, and he had an absolute, cracker of a game. And he seems to do always really well when he plays at Wembley. So yeah, I'm giving him a 7.5. And again, Bertram, that's why I'm giving David Luiz a 6.75. It's because when you compare the two, Holding for me was the better player and he was solid. He didn't make any mistakes, really, to be honest.
Guys, I'm trying to make you humble, trying to bring you back down to the base level. Remember, Liverpool put out a full team. Bertram alluded to this in the commentary. Liverpool put out a first team. We put out half a team. Yeah? And everybody was feeling down and we ended up winning. So the effort was even more than it was previously before. Sonny saying...
Sorry, Apollo, is it the effort or was that Arteta's tactics? I think it was more of the tactics. Both.
Yeah, Arteta's tactics have been there from the beginning. The difference is the players buying into it. That's the difference between now and previous build. Sonny said, no point in only being the level of 7. Once in 3 months, we finish 8th because our squad and our first team isn't good enough. Every player but Aubameyang can go. Sonny's harsh, man. Mari's going to have to fight to get into that team, bro. And I don't know what's going to happen because Gabriel is left-footed and plays on that left side. And I really don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with that, bro. But we have to wait and see. I think everybody's done. So Kieran Tierney. So guys, let me hear your grades for Kieran Tierney. Tony, you've got the conch.
Kieran Tierney is a centre-back who just marauds up and down that pitch. I mean, what he does, considering that he's playing left side of a centre 3, is ridiculous. And you cannot commend how that run down the left of Aubameyang creates the mayhem with Maitland-Niles to allow Aubameyang the space to curl that beautiful goal in. So Tierney doesn't put foot wrong. He's just a phenom. He's just a phenom of an athlete. You know, I laugh at him because he keeps his top tucked in his shorts.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Like Urkel.
It's so funny. But, you know, listen.
British people are saying, who's Urkel?
Yeah, and obviously he pulled up
American character.
But you know, the guy's phenomenal. I love him. He's going to be a future Arsenal captain. I'm absolutely sure of it. He gets an 8 from me.
Excellent, excellent. So let's see what the guys in the chat are saying. We got some Kieran Tierney figures here to play about with. Adrian has gone for an 8 out of 10. Hey, Maldi, what's going on? I love Arsenal. Yeah, so listen, so do we, bro. Let us know what you think about it. Show us your grades. Let us know what you think of the players. Carletto's given Tierney a solid 8. Kouke's given Tierney a solid 8. Defended well, got forward with authority. Sporty has given him an 8 as well. Kouke is saying Liverpool might face a difficult season to defend their title, as many Premier League clubs will surely copy Arsenal's tactics to frustrate Liverpool, as it worked twice. Good point, bro. Good point. Style has given him an 8. Rudy has given him a 7. Figure Beats has given him an 8. Cricket Ball an 8. And T has given him, I did see a score for T. Here we go. A straight 9, captain material. It could well be, man. We really don't know what happens when Aubameyang. I mean, right now Aubameyang is a captain. There's no doubt about it. But listen, this guy could be a future captain, you know. But don't hear it from me. I was saying Rob Holding's going to be a future captain, and look how that turned out. Ebony, you got the conch.
Yeah, Tierney, I give him an 8. I just, you know, the fact that, you know, when he, first of all, he's a left back, and then when he doesn't have the ball, he's a right, but he's centre back. I just love the way he flips between the two. I mean, he got tired towards the end of the game, but he's phenomenal. He is absolutely phenomenal down that left hand side, and he dealt with his balls well, the ball well. So yeah, I give him an 8.
And again, we're going to address this when we talk about Arteta, but I do believe his future is not going to be at that position. That back three is definitely going to be Gabriel, Saliba, and Luiz. That's it. If any other Arsenal fan has got wishes outside of that, think again. Tierney is a fullback. He can defend. He can attack. We've seen what he can do. Before he replaced Klasnach in that back three, we saw how good he was on the left-hand side. Everybody was talking about Saka as a left-handed side player. Since Tierney's gone back in there, and ain't nobody talking about Saka on the left anymore. Now people are talking about Saka on the right, Saka through the middle. Don't nobody talk about Saka on the left, because this guy, that's the future. This guy is going to be in the middle four when that 3-4-3 system goes into full effect. It's cool saying Niles and Tierney are critical to Arteta's system. Sonny saying his prediction Liverpool will finish outside the top 4. Ooh. Yeah, we might need to put some money on that, Sonny. Rudy, Arteta is something special. Totally agree. Ebony, anything else you want to add on that? On Tierney?
Yeah, I can see him being a future captain, but you know, right now, you know, his defensive skills are on point, and you know, he's crucial to every single game from now on. Excellent.
Bertram, you got the conch.
I gave Tierney an 8. Obviously, he had a lot of help on his side of the field. Unlike Holding had with Bellerin, it wasn't as great a help. I mean, Maitland-Niles will get to him, but when you have that kind of help on your side, it helps out quite a bit in terms of how you position yourself defensively and how you can cover off whatever attack is coming through that side. But no, he's an excellent player. He has a lot of potential. The one thing which I struggle with Tierney is he got to learn how to beat his man. He has one way to go by people. He put his head down and try to go by you on the outside. You have to set your man up to beat him. You can't go to – this is the Premier League. This is not Celtics in the Scottish League where people can't run. Everybody here can run, apart from Xhaka. So we do need to He needs to work on that in training in terms of set your man up to beat him. It can't be just one way. I put my head down and try to go on the outside because he won't be as effective. But he has all the attributes to be, as Tony's saying, to be an excellent player. And I expect him to continue to improve. When I first saw him early in the year, I wasn't overly impressed because I thought he was being manhandled. I think he's getting stronger. I think his attributes that he has are coming to the forefront. And I think he's going to be an excellent player going forward. Let's hope he can stay healthy, because the one thing we're missing in all our discussion, we're assuming that we're Liverpool who really have injuries, and injuries do occur. And the same team you put on the field today may not be the team you have on the field a month from now. But fingers crossed, hopefully that'll be the case. And he'll be in that position for a long time to come.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Can I respond to Bertram on the point about beating players? I happen to notice that the best left back in the country, Robertson, does not beat players. He really doesn't beat players. He just finds himself.
No, because he doesn't have to. Tony,
hold on, Bertrand, let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay,
go
ahead.
No, go ahead, Bertram.
Because it's a difference in the system, right? In Liverpool's team, you're so worried about Mane and Salah, you are deep. He doesn't have to go all the way down the line to cross the ball. He and Alexander-Arnold have all the time in the world, no pressure to cross. We don't have that luxury yet. When we have Pepe and we have William and Abba, then teams are going to have to stay deep, like how we stay deep. Then you'll have much more chance of cross from further up the field. Because Robinson cross are not coming from down the corner, you know. They're coming further upfield.
Yeah.
Eventually he'll get there.
And I think you have to also bear in mind that, listen, Kieran Tierney is a superb crosser of the ball.
Yes.
And look at some of the definite chances we had. Like the cross from Saka, which everyone will be talking about, I'm sure, when we mention him. The cross to Aubameyang, the way he picks that pass out, phenomenal. And the cross for Willock, again, phenomenal. When you do crossing and you do it right, listen, we all talked about, I'm trying to think of players who just had no delivery. Oxlade-Chamberlain during his time at Arsenal, run down the wing, no delivery. Run down the wing, no delivery. This guy is a genuine threat. And I think that's got to be considered. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Bertram. And yes, you do have to play the system so that you can turn inside, pass inside. And I think he will show that more as the system develops under Arteta. But right now, I see a guy who's capable of running down the wing, getting the ball on his left foot and pinging a superb cross into the box.
Just want to answer Cool K's question. How does the formation work? I did explain to you how it worked before. So your base is 3-4-3. That's your base. So anytime that anything intermittently happens, that's how you set up. When you attack at a 4-2-4 with the two wide players and the two inside players, and support has to come from one of the midfield, one of the holding players. And that is where we struggle. The midfield players are not really adept at doing that. But then you defend as a 5-4-1. And that's the reason why we can clog that funnel, that pyramid formation. We can funnel the attack into any way we want. We can switch them out wide, or we can force them on the inside. And that formation allows you to do that. Changes up a little bit when we play away from home. But what I've noticed since there's been no fans in the stadium, we're pretty much locked in on that formation. So it is a little bit of a hybrid form. I know it's hard for old-fashioned fans to understand because it's more of a hybrid than anything. It's more for philosophy rather than a static formation, and that's what Man City does. Liverpool, to an extent, does it, but not many of the other teams play like this. And it is a Pep Guardiola thing. Yeah, it's a very eccentric Spanish way of playing football, and not many teams in the Premier League have adapted to that yet. And that's the reason why Liverpool and Man City have both had a lot of luck with it. Arteta's taken what he knows looks good. He knows what good looks like. I say that to you guys all the time. And he's assimilated it into the team. And why I said to you guys, I would rather a Man City light or a Man City clone than what we've been working with over the years. I've said that because if we're half of what these teams are producing, will produce better results simply because the philosophy it really, really does work, and it really puts teams on the back foot. So, guys, Kieran Tierney, Bertram, did you have your go?
Yeah, no, I say it was an 8. And one thing on the strategy, I've read where the view is that Arteta's strategy is a combination of Wenger, Guardiola, and Moyes, actually, versus just a pure Guardiola philosophy in terms of how he plays. Because yesterday, he tucked Maitland-Niles inside sometimes. So the traditional way of playing, as you're saying, in that 3-4-3, is that those wing-backs are stay a little bit wider. He actually has a hybrid construct about how that works. It doesn't work the same all the time in every situation. All depends on what the opponent is doing, which is really interesting.
Yeah, and that's the reason why, look, guys, there's a reason why Saka has had, in the last season plus the game that just played, he's got 13 assists and 2 goals. And Pepe has 9 assists and 8 goals. We're getting a hell of a lot of assists from those wide angles. And that's because in that formation, when you funnel the 4-2-4, there's 4 players up front. And any support is why we miss Ceballos. We miss Ceballos because Ceballos was able to come in on that 2 in the midfield and handle the running in late from the box, the Ramsey type of style that we used to see. That's what this system really needs. It doesn't have a Kevin De Bruyne type player. You don't need a number 10 in this system. You just need someone that's going to be that hybrid false number 10 who's going to play in that holding role and push up late. And we don't really have that. And that's the hope with Willian. The hope is Willian can come into the middle and play that pivot role and then start to weave things with his magic on the inside. If we get that clicking, guys, we're going to be very, very, very dangerous.
We didn't miss Ceballos yesterday. We had Elneny.
Yeah, and he did a job in the hole. He did a job in the hole.
He did a job in the hole.
Yeah, Sonny, bro, Pepe, he's shade of what we expected. And listen, Vincey, you're late, bro. What's going on, man? What's going on, Vincey? Hope everything's going well, brother. We just done the player ratings for Kieran Tierney, Vincey. So if you want to give us a rating for Kieran Tierney, go ahead. Let African Gooner, you got the conch.
Kieran Blood Clot Tierney, my brother. I've said it since day one. And let's get it right. Best left back in the Prem. I don't know what Tony is on about. I mean, how can you be choosing a Liverpool player over your own player, man? What's going on here? I'm not accepting that crap. Nah, man. Tierney, incredible. And we're talking about him playing in a left center back role. Let's get it right. Top players are players that can do that. They can play many positions and be excellent because they're just so talented that when you put them anywhere on the pitch, obviously on the left side, they're going to do a job for us. And what I'm really concerned about is when we go back to, have that back three with Saliba and with Gabriel in the team, and Tierney goes back to that left wing back, where is Maitland-Niles going to play? And he's playing phenomenally. So I have no clue what Arteta is going to do because you can't take out Tierney from that left wing back position. And then we have Bellerin and Suarez on the other side. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Maitland-Niles because he's also been superb on that left wing back. And I'm not accepting what Bertram's saying that he can only beat his man on the left. I mean, he's comparing him to Robertson and stuff. Those guys are talented players. It's not about Mane and Salah taking up that space. They're talented enough to cross from anywhere on the pitch and be able to deliver a good cross because they're good players. And that's something that we're not, exposed to because usually we don't have those types of players in our team to actually be able to deliver from anywhere on the pitch and have it straight onto Aubameyang's head or straight onto Lacazette's head for a goal. So I do see where you're coming from. I do think that if we have Willian and Aubameyang pushing forward, Tierney is going to have much more space. But I mean, listen, if he has one trick and he keeps doing it over and over again and he keeps beating his man, I mean, I'm not saying anything. And I didn't want to mention to you, Bertram. When we played MK Dons, he had a couple of different moves that he played. It wasn't all about beating his man by just beating him out on the left. He was doing a little bit of dummies, a little bit of 1-2s. So he has some variability in his game and also in his crossing. If you look at his crossing, he had one cross right to the byline where I think Saka, was Maitland-Niles. He should have shot and he ended up passing it to Nketiah. So, I mean, Tierney is the player, man. He's the best defender that we have right now. I want to see Saliba and Gabriel, but at the moment, Tierney's the best defender we've had in at least 5-6 years for me. Better than Mertesacker, better than Koscielny, better than all of those guys for me.
Wow.
MK
Okay.
Dons.
That's high. That's high praise.
I don't care, Bertram. I don't care if it's MK Dons or whoever. I don't give a crap. He's doing it. It's a I don't care who.
You are doing really well until you mentioned MK Dons.
No, I'm okay. You, right? Because you say that I'm giving you an example. It doesn't matter.
No, but I'm telling you. Okay. You guys
here in South Africa.
Seriously.
I don't give a crap.
Okay, you guys think about this. Okay, from now on, just give what I said. Watch the games and look how we beat this man. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I agree. No, I see where you're coming from, but he has variability, so you're tough. You're being tough on him. He has variability.
No, here's the thing, though. If you set up your man, he can't recover. If you just try to beat him down the line, it's going to be very difficult for you to get by him if he's as quick as you are.
But there's not a lot of that in this system, Bertram. You know that yourself. I mean,
but he doesn't want to play 3 at the back. He doesn't. We know this.
Yeah, we know that.
He wants to play 4 at the back.
But listen, he's forced to, and look at the results.
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree.
until you get another transfer window, not this one, until you get another transfer window, he can't transform the team. And look, a lot will happen if Thomas Partey comes in. Then you can start to change a few things up because that midfield of Willian, Xhaka, and Thomas Partey, or Ceballos or whoever that will allow you to start to change everything that you want to do. And I don't think he has that right now. So we're going to see.
No, the midfield is Partey, William, and Thiago Alcantara. That's the midfield.
Yeah, dream.
No, listen, it's going to be Diawara. I told you guys last week it's going to be Diawara. Mohamed is back again. What's going on, Mohamed, my brother? What's going on, man? Monreal was an excellent. Yeah, I think Kieran Tierney has the potential to be better. And I first got that from the African Gooner. The African Gooner flung that in there. And ever since, I've been looking for this guy to surpass Mr. Consistency himself, Nacho Monreal.
Sorry, just before I end, I didn't give my rating. I was too gassed up because I love this kid. I mean, this is the type of player I want in every single position. I'm giving him 8.5. He automatically gets bonus points because he's one of my favorite players. I have 3 favorite players: Aubameyang, Tierney, and Martinelli. And and I'm not even afraid to admit that because I'm confident that every game he's gonna be superb. So I'm easily gonna put it out there that he gets the extra 0.5 for being an incredible player.
Yeah. Rudy says, honestly, not sure what all the fuss is about with Messi. When he's there, Socrates knocking it. Yeah, it is. Me and Bertram had a laugh about this last week because we were saying the man ain't played a full season in how many years? His ankles are gone. Messi is an accident waiting to happen. God forbid anybody who spends all the money. The guy's on $500,000 a week. Yeah. And he can't even stay fit. Yeah,
no,
at least
you take him into our team. Come on, what is this? I wouldn't take Messi into our team?
He'll destroy your. Listen, money right now is tight, the African Gooner. Who's going to pay? I know. This guy's an accident waiting to happen, man. He for me, his best years are behind him. He's shot, man. If he comes in and gets
how much money that we would buy from kit sales alone, we would recover half the money from just kit sales. And imagine Tierney and him on the. Oof.
Oh man,
Messi, they're winning the league.
Yeah,
I cannot believe you just said that man is shot and
he actually scores 40 goals a season. But then I'm saying if you get him in and he scores you 40, then you've done it on the short term. But this guy ain't long term. He can't even stay fit for them now. What's he gonna do when he comes?
So Tony, here's my concern, Tony, which is unless he plays at Man City or Liverpool where they dominate the ball, he doesn't work defensively. If you watch him in the Bayern game, he walked the entire game. This Premier League is very unforgiving. It's very unforgiving, Tony. It's very ask lazy. It's very unforgiving, no matter how technical you are.
Yeah,
you gotta put a foot in.
You gotta put a foot in. If you look at the work rate that Nketiah does, that's what we expect Messi to do. He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it.
Sorry, but he's in a team that is really good, so it's not really expected, right?
If he went to Man City,
go ahead, Elneny.
No, if he went to Man City and played under Pep, he'd be good again. I reckon.
He'd be good because he'll protect him. He'll find a way to protect him.
Yeah, he'll find a way to. Man City never won the league. They never won the Champions League. So what they expected Messi to do? Kevin De Bruyne's already been said to be the best at his position in the world. Yeah. So what's Messi gonna do there? How are they gonna play together? I just don't see it, man. And Liverpool ain't
mad.
Yeah, Liverpool.
No, he'll play him. He played 3 in the midfield. With De Bruyne one side and Messi one side.
Yeah, and I think Tony, what you got? Tony, what you got? Tony, what you got to remember about me is, in the Messi Ronaldo argument, I'm always the Ronaldo, not the Messi. So that's the reason why you'll always see
no,
Ronaldo all day long.
They're not even close.
They're
not close.
You know why I'm close, guys? We're gonna come on to Maitland-Niles. So, guys in the chat, put your numbers up for Maitland-Niles. But before you do, I have to say this. I've told you this time and time before. Remember when we met in London for a drink, Bertram, and we were talking about this discussion? And I said to you, one man has elevated himself on the club level and the international level. He took his team to a Euro championship. What has Messi done with Argentina? Nothing.
A World Cup final.
Ronaldo's
Ronaldo
is the best player in the world, man.
But
Ronaldo's the best player in the world.
Apollo, get it right. Messi's the best football player in the world. Ronaldo's the best athlete in the world. There's a big difference.
But to be fair
and
to
the one that I would have also, guys, as well as putting down Maitland-Niles' grade, put down who you would prefer, Messi or Ronaldo. Let me hear what you guys are saying, because you guys always carry the flavor in the show.
Ronaldo know nothing about football. Without Ronaldo know nothing about football.
You guys always carry the flavor in the show. So tell me, guys, Ronaldo or Messi? And let me throw up your
Messi, close.
Can I just be fair to Messi? To be fair to Messi, when he's played in the Champions League, he's come up against Premiership opposition. So therefore, he can actually cut it in the Premier League. But I'm with you.
He's destroyed them, actually. He hasn't done bad against English teams. He's destroyed them.
I'd go for Ronaldo, because Ronaldo has done more internationally than Messi.
He's done more everywhere. Listen.
How did you work that out? What World Cup final did Portugal ever get to?
Yeah, but they won the Euros, didn't they?
You clearly didn't hear what I said, Tony.
In the Euros.
You clearly didn't hear what I said, Tony. Right, guys. We've got the numbers coming in. We've got a whole heap of numbers coming in. Hold on, let's see what's going on here. Tony for president says Sonny. Messi. Sonny says Messi can win the league by his own. He didn't win it in Spain, did he, Sonny? He didn't win it in Spain. So what have we got here? We've got Rudy. Rudy has given Maitland-Niles a 9 out of 10. Style has gone for a 9. I think we're going to know who our consensus man of the match is. Cricket Ball said Cristiano Ronaldo over Messi. You're right, Apollo. Yeah, listen, the Ronaldo all day long, bro. Sporty saying Messi is still the best in the world. I can't believe that, what I'm hearing. Believe it, bro. Carletto is saying 8.5. Frigga Beats is saying 9. His penalty was stone cold. Believe, man. Rudy's also saying Messi has and will always be the best player in the world. 18 is saying Ronaldo all day long. 18 has also given Niles a 9 out of 10. Stephen, what's good, Stephen? He's given a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and he said Ronaldo. Be interesting to hear what Carletto, South American, between Ronaldo and Messi.
He's not even the best Ronaldo. He's not even the best Ronaldo.
Hey, listen, he's given the best answer. He's given the best answer, man. Aubameyang is better than the both of them. So listen, well said, bro. Cricket Ball said, well said, Ebony. Where are we? Where would Barcelona be? Barcelona, where were they now when he just played the last season? All of them want to leave. Sporty is saying 8.5 for Maitland-Niles and a contract extension. Agreed. T is saying Niles assassinating midfielders. Yeah, listen, the guy is locked in. Yeah, locked in like a missile. And when that missile hit, boom, 10 out of 10. Man of the match, big performance. Not for sale. Closed. Nice one, bro. Nice one. Mohammed, big up. Should join them apart. For real, mate. Adrian's given Niles a 9. Mohammed's given a 15. Isn't it normally 11? Going by that math. Aubameyang, Triple D has just gone for the one-liner. He's given Aubameyang a 10 out of 10 and Niles a 9.5 out of 10. Vic is saying Messi all day long. And Sonny, you're killing me tonight, bro. Messi's children. Actually, that's the truth because both of them are playing, aren't they? And he's gone Aubameyang over Messi. Another one that prefers Aubameyang over these two. Carletto, Messi and Ronaldo, best players never to win a World Cup. Yeah, I know that, mate. Whose go is it for Maitland-Niles? Tony, you're coming out the bat with it straight away. Go on, bro.
All right. Let's get back to the real stuff. So Ainsley Maitland-Niles, great game. Just locked down the whole midfield on his side of the pitch. Firmino, Salah, just, I think Salah had a bad game, but Maitland-Niles just locked him up. So I'm going to give him a 9.5. He was my man in the match, I thought. Industry, workaholic, and I got to give it all to Arteta because he has got this guy playing phenomenally. And congratulations, Ainsley, on your England call-up.
Yeah, true. Ebony.
I'd give him. He's my man of the match as well. I'll give him a 10. The way he dealt with that right hand side, that's his position now. He has honed that position. Forget midfield. That is his position. He did well.
Excellent.
No arguments there. 10 out of 10. Man of the match.
Just a quick question to Ebony. So you're saying he should be starting over Tierney if we actually have all the players that we need? That's the question that I have. It's how do you take out Tierney, right?
If you have A&M on the right and Tierney on the left, because the right hand side
on the right.
Yeah, that's his position.
Yeah, Vincey, that's why I prefer Ronaldo because he is more of a team player.
Think Ronaldo is more of a team player than Messi. Come on, Vincey, that's disappointing, man.
Vincey, stop drinking. Vincey, stop drinking. Ronaldo is never a team. He's the most individual player in football ever. He doesn't care. He only wants to score by himself. No one else should score. No one should assist. He's all about me. Now, he wins a lot because he's a great player, but he's not a team player. He's not the best Ronaldo. Frankly, he's not the best Ronaldo. So we keep talking about this Ronaldo. He's not the best Ronaldo.
So,
the
guys,
he was.
So, Cool K's going for 9.5 for Maitland-Niles. And Cool K 101 is one of the best forums on YouTube. Thank you very much, my friend. Apollo allows them time to speak, which is great. You have to, man. It's a forum. That's what we're here for. We're here to speak. So, guys, we're going to Bertram. Bertram, you're on Maitland-Niles. Also, guys in the chat, let me know Leno or Martinez. That's an easy one. I think we did that 2 weeks ago, and Leno got blown up.
Don't start me off now.
Bertram, you
I'm ambivalent about the England call-up. I think Southgate playing games. He called up Greenwood. He called up Calvin Phillips. He called up A&M because Jamaica is trying to pursue them for their World Cup team. So he makes sure he gets them in so they got locked up. They can never be considered for any other country. So he doesn't want to do what happened to Zaha happened to them. That's my perspective anyway. Even though A&M is playing excellent football. I gave him a 9.5 because this is the fourth game I've watched him, and he came in the second half against Wolves and locked up Traore, which no one ever does. He locked up, when we played against City, he locked up Mahrez. When we played against Chelsea, he locked up whoever was on that side because William didn't play. People keep talking about Salah didn't have a good game. There's a reason why Salah didn't have a good game.
Exactly.
People keep saying Salah didn't have a good game. Do you people realize that Salah doesn't have bad games? The way Salah plays football is he plays a total game. He defends, he's brilliant with the ball at his feet, and he scores goals. There's a reason why he disappeared. Yesterday, I was asking in the forum, Ebony and I saying, where's Amen? Because you know what? We couldn't see Salah, so we're like, Salah disappeared. He wasn't on the screen. And everyone said he had a bad game. Stars makes fight. And Amen makes Salah invisible yesterday. So this concept about him didn't have a bad game. Yeah, he had a bad game for a reason, just like Mahrez did. Just like whoever Maitland-Niles played against did. Traore had a bad game in the second half of the game. He was destroying us. Arteta changed it, put Amen over there, because here's a perfect example in the game what happened. There's a 1-2 between Mane, and I forgot who the 1-2 is. They played a 1-2, and the only person close to the ball was Amen. Because he read the play, he got in front of Mane, recovered the ball, Mane didn't get close to the ball.
And did you see that he actually ran the channels before the ball was played?
Yes,
By the time Salah got into the spot, Who was there first to the ball?
He has a footballing brain. He's physical. He's quick. And the most important thing is he has accepted his role.
I'm so glad you said that.
I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the team. I'll play when you tell me to play. And you're seeing his ability come forward. He's always had it. He just wasn't happy in his position. Now he's happy. And his capabilities are coming forward. So 9.5 was the best player.
I'm glad you said that. See, it was like a cornerback in American football playing a route. Yeah. Yes. If a wide receiver's running a hook route, you know that, and you can read it, and you've studied the play, you know what they're going to do, and you've run your reps on it. Yeah, you can block out that hook pattern because it's a very difficult one to stop if you're a cornerback who's very inexperienced in the NFL. And that's a pattern you get beaten on the regular, especially if you're sitting off 5 yards. If you can see the play developing, you can stop it. And that's what he does. He, as I said, before the ball is played, he's already running the inside route. So then when Salah gets there and the ball's played into the box right on the end of the right-hand side of the penalty area, who gets there first? Maitland-Niles. It was like, when I saw that, I said, this guy's on another level.
Yeah. I said, his link-up play also was good. His link-up play yesterday, unlike some other games, was very, very good, actually.
So before I go to the African Gooner, and listen, this is guys on chat, you're seeing something you've never seen before. Bertram given a 9.5 and Apollo given a 10. Yeah, enjoy it, because it might not happen. It might not happen again for a very long time. Yeah, Maitland-Niles for him, Arteta for me. And we ain't even got to Arteta. And I already give you the score for Arteta, and I ain't get there yet. So for Maitland-Niles, I've given him a 9.5 out of 10 as well. And his positioning, this is what I'm talking about. His positioning is flawless. And I want to also reiterate the fact that, remember, he was in trouble with Arteta for lateness. And he's had a long road to come. He started in the cup final. He started in the game previous at Man City. He started in this game. He started the last 3 games against the best teams in the league. What does that tell you? Everyone's talking about this player coming in, go in the market and buy that player, spend 60 million and get this player. And this guy, this academy player who's been there since he was 8 years old, who people are offering peeny money for, dega money, as I would normally say. And people are talking about him leaving. Are you mad? Listen, 9.5. This guy, and I said this before, and not a lot of you listened to what I said. I said I do player ratings for every game, and when Emery was in charge and the team was failing, there was 2 outstanding players in the team. One was Guendouzi, who I've already covered, and the other was Maitland-Niles. These guys never got a grade in a team below 7. They were consistent every game. And obviously, we've seen the whole thing capitulate, which is why Emery left the team and Eddie had to pick it up. But those 2 guys, Guendouzi and Maitland-Niles, never put a foot wrong. One of them is playing, one of them's not even kitted up. So
one more point actually before we go to African Gooner is that thanks Southgate for one thing. He has doubled his price.
Yeah, agreed. Guys, there was 3 teams in for Maitland-Niles before this game. Now there's 5 teams after him, and he gets an England call-up. I'm done. So I gave him a 9.5. The African Gooner.
Yeah, just on that point, Apollo, I agree with you that Maitland-Niles was definitely one of the better players under Emery, but he wasn't this good. This is like, he's on a new level right now. And look, Apollo, this is my argument I have with you. This is what I want to see from Nketiah and Joe Willock. I want to see this jump in performance from them. This is that's the conversation that I always have with you. Maitland-Niles went from a really good player that works hard to a really incredible player that is doing things that deserves a starting spot. I mean, when's the last time did we have a player in the Arsenal squad playing for the English national team? I think it was Jack Wilshere was the last player. I mean, it's been a really, really long time, and he definitely deserves it. I'm giving him a 9.5. And what Bertram was saying, I mean, he basically stole that off my tongue. I was going to say the exact same thing. That play with Mane, what he did there was he played the man first. He understood that Mane is a quicker player than him, a physical player than him, and he had to play the man first before he played the ball. He played the man, he got in front of him, and then he dealt with the ball, because there was no way that Mane was going to get that unless he fouled him. I'm giving him a 9.5. Incredible performance. The only player better than him for me was Aubameyang, and I think the only reason I'm not giving Aubameyang the man of the match is because we expect that from Aubameyang. This is just, incredible for Maitland-Niles, and there's no way we can sell him. Again, insulting to hear £20 million for Maitland-Niles. He's playing at above Iwobi level right now, and we sold Iwobi for 40 million. So you need to be thinking about 40 to 45 million, and people might think that's crazy, but I honestly think that a club should be paying that much if they really want him.
Listen, he's better than Ben Chidwell. He's better than him. And how much was he sold for last week? 50 million? Why are we sitting here talking about 50 million? And he's better than him. I don't get it. I don't get it.
My only concern again is he's playing so well. I just don't know. Go ahead, Ebony.
Ebony, go on. I think her mic's gone. Ebony.
I was going to say is that I think I read an article. Go on.
She's saying go on.
I was just going to say in terms of, we were discussing this earlier. He's playing really, really well. And we know that when Tierney moves back to that position, he starts over Maitland-Niles for me, regardless of if Maitland-Niles is playing this well. So are we really going to see Bellerin or Suarez lose their position to Maitland-Niles? And do we really think Maitland-Niles can do the exact same thing on the right side, which he wasn't doing, under Emery? And I'm not doubting him.
That's what I'm saying. He was doing it under Emery.
Not like this.
I agree. But listen, guys, you guys, we come here every week. We talk about Arsenal. We do the player ratings. And what have I always said to you? I've said two things. One, his scores have always been 7. 1, 2, he's second in the team in dribbles behind Pepe. What are we doing here? This is Maitland-Niles. This is Maitland-Niles we're talking about. He's second on the team behind Pepe. And when Pepe wasn't getting no service, why was that? Because we put Bellerin in there. What Bertram has always said to me, he would love to see Maitland-Niles playing behind Pepe. Could you imagine that right side? We'd have a left side of Tierney behind Aubameyang and a right side of Maitland-Niles behind Pepe. That is pure, unadulterated destruction. It is absolutely pure. And then Willian in the middle. Don't get me vexed on this thing right now. I'm not going to get vexed up on this thing right now. All right, guys. Everybody's had their Maitland-Niles. So, guys, put up your scores and grades. And, guys, in the chat, let me hear your grades with Mohammed Elneny. This is going to be interesting. Bertram wanted to say something before we move in.
Yeah, as Sonny mentioned that we should sell everybody said ABBA. But the one thing you realize sometimes is that sometimes you have talent, but the talent is not visible because either the coach doesn't have a good way of bringing the talent out, put you in the right position to succeed. So think about Martinez and Amen, for example. They're now playing like world beaters. And if you say it's only ABBA we should have kept from the whole lot was there before, we're seeing players coming forward and exhibiting qualities which weren't obvious previously. So you may have more talent there than you think you do. It just has to come to the surface. And we're seeing some of that, actually.
Serge Gnabry, the perfect example of that.
I mean, you win some and you lose some with, and he wanted to go. When people bring up his name all the time, I'm like, guys, look at Balogun, who's 18 years old in our setup. Could probably be a star, but he don't want to stay. Nicolas Anelka didn't want to stay. He wanted to go. With these guys here that we've had who are major talented, if a player doesn't want to stay, there's nothing we can do. And sometimes the fans really jump on the team's back saying, why didn't you keep this player? You can't force people to stay.
I think the best example is Sancho. Sancho actually is the best example for Man City. Because when he looked ahead and he saw all the players in front of him, the Sterling, the Mahrez, the Sanes, he just like, forget that. I'm not going to wait around. I think I'm good enough, even though I'm young. That's what we're seeing with Bellerin, for example.
Look at Martinelli. Martinelli yesterday, was it yesterday or Friday? I think it was Friday. He said, I want to stay. He said, I signed a 5-year deal. I'm going to stay here every single day for those 5 years. And he said, if they want to sign me to an extension, I'll sign that too. Martinelli loves it here. Absolutely.
Yeah, he hasn't been corrupted by money yet. He has not been corrupted by money yet. Wait till he get corrupted and then we can talk.
Adebayo.
Oh, don't start me off. Don't start me on that mercenary.
Adebayo. Hey, Mohammed, man, you keep sending me this stuff. I tried to let you in last time, and your camera and your whatever technology you're using, it wasn't good enough to get you on the panel, bro. So sorry about that, man, but I don't think it's going to happen. Elneny, before Tony goes, we've got a 7 from 18. We've got a 7 from Stephen. We've got a 7.5 from Cricket Ball. And guys, we haven't had any donations to the channel today. Remember, you can make a donation from £2. Just see where it says Super Chat in the sign. You see a $sign there. Hit it and support the channel. Tony, you got the conch.
Okay, I thought Elneny had a good game. You've got a difficult task coming up against what is a fairly useful midfield. Obviously, Liverpool were missing Henderson, but they still got Milner, Fabinho, who are good players in their system because they play a system. And when one player is missing, another player just joins in fluidly. And we kept that at bay. So Elneny gets a lot of props for that. Listen, Elneny is not a horse. He's a fast donkey. He had a great time at Besiktas. Yeah, he's a player that just isn't what we need in the middle of our park. Obviously, he got instructions from Arteta about the style of play that was required, and he kept it simple. He didn't try any world balls. He didn't try anything special. And let's be honest, we know had we had Ceballos, a far more progressive player playing in his position, we'd have probably won 3 or 4-0 because Ceballos gets the ball forward much quicker and with more intention. And I know he didn't get a lot of assists last year, but he is a progressive player and was getting better towards the end of the season. Oh my God, Bertram is killing it already. So I'm going to give him a 7 for a good performance in a good system designated by Arteta. But yeah, take the money and run, because if we can get anything decent for him, I'm looking for far better, more creative players. I'm interested to see if we somehow keep Elneny, and if we were to ask a question, would you prefer Elneny or Torreira? Who would you prefer?
Torreira, without even thinking.
There you
That's
go.
not even a question to answer.
I think my answer's different. I would prefer both, because both ain't going to start, but both are needed over a full season. You're playing 65 games. Where are we going with this, guys? I said this in 101 yesterday, Elneny is not going to be a starter for this team, but when the legs are going tired in the 70th minute and you've got the League Cup, which you don't want to play your starters and you need to rest players, he's adaptable. He's a squad player. We ain't Man City. We can't spend 50 million on a player to put him on the bench. We can't do that. So you need players who are adept at the ball, good in possession, neat and tidy, which is what he is. He's a tidy player. He might not be progressive. Look, all players have got weaknesses. Being progressive is one of his. He doesn't play too many balls forward, but then neither does Xhaka. So what are you? Yeah. You got a guy not like Xhaka. He doesn't give the ball away. He doesn't give stupid passes away. High passing accuracy.
Sometimes. I wouldn't say never. He does sometimes.
He's got
one game, Apollo. Don't forget all the past 3 seasons where we've seen him do, be a Xhaka. I'm totally agreeing with you. He was good, but we shouldn't forget the past. Yeah,
in his first season with Wenger, he had the 94.6 passing rating, which was the highest on the team.
Sideways.
But it was but hold on, guys. What do we lack? Keeping possession. We can't keep hold of the ball. We can't pass the ball. So if you
can't wait for my
turn, the game if we don't go over the halfway line.
Yeah, look, listen. Let's not get this confused, guys. He isn't going to start. I think we should be looking for squad players like this. That's what I'm saying.
I just have one quick question, Apollo. You're saying we need squad players, right? So what Elneny reminds me of, remember that discussion we had about Kolasinac, how he's just a player. You just put him in there and he's just a number.
Yeah.
That's Elneny.
He ain't even
we don't
playing.
want players like that.
Yeah,
he's not going to come in and make any change. He's not going to be able to score or impact the game at all. He's just going to be put in there.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree. But I think for what he can do, he does well. And you need someone who's neat and tidy. Kolasinac can't play anywhere. Kolasinac for me is done. Yeah, you can't put him anywhere. He needs to go. But I can see that where this player can fit in, and I think Arteta's quite. You know what, Arteta. I would like to see what happens with him if he goes out on loan, because Arteta's had him for a week, and I think Arteta's quite surprised with Elneny. I really do. But that's just my opinion. We'll have to see where he goes on. Tony, have you gone with? I don't see any grades for Elneny from the guys in the chat. Oh, yes, I
put
do.
some up 7s.
I put all right. Okay, have I? Let's have a look. So yes, cricket ball 8.5. Carletto, 7.5. Cricket ball. Carletto 8. Elneny gets an 8 from Kez, and he gets a 7.5 from T. Let me just go back and see if I've missed anything. Stephen has given him a 7. 18 gave him a 7. Guys, he's getting really good scores here. Tony, what did you give him?
I gave him a 7. No, nobody can get a bad mark in this team, as Bertram has alluded to. Nobody can get a bad mark. You did it. You did a number on a good team.
Yeah. In that midfield, his pressing was amazing as well. Did you see his high pressing? He shut down with authority.
He had something to prove. Right?
Oh, Cool K, man. How many times we do this every week, Cool K? What is going on, bro? Bro, seriously, I can't track it if you don't put it through. Listen, thank you for your contribution. I appreciate it wholeheartedly, and I really do appreciate your support for the channel as well. Sorry, mate. I'll keep sending it like that because YouTube take 40%. Yeah, that's true, actually, and I want all the money. Okay, all right, so I get it. I get your point. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, YouTube. So if somebody puts in a tenner, I only get £6 to the channel, and YouTube take £4. So that's how it works. So yeah, I get it. All right, I won't give you any stick about that anymore. And I think one of them asked me for a PayPal details, which I've sent. Was it Sporty? Guys, let me just check. It's Cricket Ball. Has asked for that's my PayPal email, mate. So if you want to put it directly into there, I can see why fans want to do that. I need to talk to Sonny and Igel a little bit more because I'm not sure how that works in the long run. But yeah, I get it. All right, thanks for all the contributions, guys. Much appreciated. Bow to you guys because you guys are fueling the channel. You guys are making this happen. Much appreciated. And Frigga Beats has given Elneny an 8. Man's getting... Bertram said, I can't wait to get to him. Bertram, how are you going to give away a player that's 8 when he's got... Anyway, I'll come to you in a minute. Ebony, you got the conch.
All right. For the first time in his Arsenal career, he's actually pressed, and he's actually not played so much backwards, sideways, backwards and sideways again. He actually played the game how it should be from his position. And because of that, and I'm not getting gassed. I do agree with you, Apollo. Hit the rust. Okay, I do agree with you in the sense that we do need squad players, and he could be that decent squad player. He's not a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, and this is only one game, so I shan't be getting gassed because the next time he plays, he could be going back to his backwards, sideways again. So, but on yesterday's game, and for the fact that he actually moved forward, I'm gonna give him an 8, purely on yesterday's game. But like I said, I'm not getting gassed, and this is not a bypass to not buy Partey. Okay, so consider Elneny as a squad player. That is it.
Yeah, and guys, look, a lot of people talk about this sideways and backwards, and you know, a lot of players play like Henderson for Liverpool plays like that. Xhaka in our team, I don't see him create anything in the final third.
He doesn't create shit.
So the fact of the matter, everyone's making a big deal out of this stuff. So what if he does that? As long as we keep the ball possession, and when he does play the ball to somebody who is more progressive, then we start attacking that way. I don't see, as long as this is a system that we're trying to build here, guys, and they're all playing within Arteta's philosophy. If he works in that philosophy, then I'm all for it. Bertram, you got the conch. Sorry, Bertram, before I let you go, there was a score that I missed. It was sporty. Elneny, a workman-like 7. And I think I done Friggers as well, which was an 8. Yeah, go on, Bertram.
So I gave Elneny a 7.99. I thought,
Sonny, you're killing me.
So I thought I'm going to take Arteta's position, which is everybody starts this year with a clean slate. I think we're very biased when we think about people and their previous performances and not judge them based on facts and circumstances. Judge it based on his performance yesterday. Don't judge him what you think he is. Now, I agree totally. I'm going to do a donkey. He's not a stallion. We know he's not a stallion. What I love about his game is this, is that he sees the pass before he gets the ball. He doesn't get the ball and figure out he's going to pass it. You already see the pass 2 steps ahead. So you noticed yesterday when he got the ball at the top of the box, which is the most dangerous area to get the ball, he already had a pass in mind, and those passes are being made. So he doesn't even feel the pressure. And he even beat a man yesterday and he got fouled. I've never seen him beat a man in a game ever. And he beat a man and got fouled yesterday. So obviously what has happened, he's gone to Turkey. When you become a main man in a team, you have confidence. When you first come to Arsenal and you're not well known, you come from a small team, you have no confidence, you don't want to make any mistakes. You want to be perfect and play within yourself. He's gone to Turkey. He's loved out there by numerous teams. They all want to play for him. He's built up confidence. He still doesn't pass the ball forward. But what you've noticed with our team is this, which is we no longer attack. And when we lose the ball, we're like, oh, God, what's going to happen? When we lose the ball attacking, we are well set up defensively to recover. Not like before, like on the Wenger or even on the Emery, where it's all hell break loose. And we're scrambling. I have no idea where we are. We're well structured. We're well balanced. The gap between the defense and the midfield is such where we're not worrying about that whole huge gap is there. We got to struggle to defend. And Elneny did a brilliant job yesterday. So it's a 7.99.
Yeah, and listen, T, I just want to say, sorry, that's my fault. As you know, I'm a big comic fan, and I know the name Frigga, which is Thor's mother. And that's the reason why I said put an R in it. So that's my bad. So it's Figure. Okay. All right. Nice one. Nice one. My fault. My bad. African Gooner, you got the conch, bro.
Yeah. Firstly, I can see Elneny has a new representative over here. It's Bertram's client, as Vinci would say. But he makes some really good points. Like I'll call him El Dino after that goal he scored against MK Dons. And yes, I know Bertram was against MK Dons, but it was a good goal. We have to give that to him. And yes, he does play. He is playing much better. Bertram is 100% right. I didn't think about that. I mean, being the main man at Turkey definitely gave him some confidence. And he does look like he's playing with some confidence. And in terms of what Kez is saying, and in regards to his rebuttal to me about thinking about the past, the thing with Martinez and Maitland-Niles is they weren't, I don't think you can compare the amount of game time that they had. I mean, Elneny had a lot of game time. He was starting all the games under Wenger. So we've seen this guy play a lot. And, yes, yesterday he had an incredible performance, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm putting my neck on the line, that in 2-3 months from now, if we do keep him, we're going to be crying. And we're going to say, why did we keep him? He's making the same mistakes. Why did we think he's going to change from a donkey to a stallion miraculously under Arteta? That's my only fear. I'm not willing to give these players a chance. They've been here for too long. Regardless of if he's good, regardless of if Arteta's going to make him better, get rid of him. At the same time, I would, my ideal scenario would be sell Xhaka and keep Elneny, because I think Elneny is better than Xhaka. And I don't care about anybody else's opinion. I still do think that Elneny can do a better job than Xhaka. So, I mean, if that's the case,
100%.
Put Elneny
comment of the night
and get rid of Xhaka, because Xhaka, you sell him for 40 million, you get Partey in, and then you can keep Elneny as a squad player. I don't really give. So, yeah, no, that's for me. He had a great game, but it's just one game. Let's not hype it up. As Turkish said, I mean, and he was very, adamant about this on AFTV. Elneny is not the way forward. And fans that think that Elneny is the way forward are delusional. This is why we're still in 8th place. This is why we're not champions.
Who is saying that? Who's saying he's the way forward? I don't get it.
We're saying he's a squad player. We should have more ambition than to have Elneny as a squad player. I want Thiago as a squad player. I want the best.
Thiago's not a squad player. He'd be starting.
No, I know. That's my point.
African Gooner, stop drinking.
Such good players that even the best players are on our bench. That's the type of squad players I want.
We don't have Man City money. We don't have Man City money.
I just said that in my statement. I said we haven't.
That's not Man City money.
Yeah, I just said in our statement we don't have 50 million to put players on the bench. We can't.
Fair enough. But you know that Thiago costs 25-30 million, and we can be smart about our business. We don't have to get the craziest star players. We can get average players that are better than Xhaka.
I think right now. Hold on, Bertram. Hold on. I think right now the model that Josh Kroenke and Edu are working with is bearing fruit. And I'm looking at this model. Two of the agents was laughing at me yesterday because we were talking about what they did with Salah, Mane, Firmino, 34 million. All three players. Kieran Tierney, 27 million. Gabriel, 27 million. What's the other guy? William Saliba, 27 million. Diawara, who we're looking at now, 27 million. There's a pattern that's forming here that we're getting. We're all talking about Tierney is going to be the best left back in football, and Gabriel. Everyone in the world is raving at him. He had 5 teams, including PSG, Napoli, Man United, Man City even made an inquiry about him. And where does he decide to go because of the Brazilian contingency? To Arsenal because of the talk he had with Arteta. We're building something, and the players that we're getting are not 70, 60, 80 million. They're 27 million. So what you're saying, I really do agree with you. We need better players in the squad. But the starters and the quality of the players we're getting are not this is the reason why they're struggling with Thomas Partey. They want him, but they don't want to pay that money. And the problem is that's a clause money. That's not what they're saying. It's what they're saying they agreed with when they wrote the contract up. So and 2 days ago was the first sign of them willing to come down, because as you know, guys, they're actually being probed by UEFA. A lot of people actually don't know that. We've heard they're in financial trouble, but they're actually being probed by UEFA, so they need to generate some income real quick. And listen, big shout out to Carletto. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that wholeheartedly. And I know you're one of our loyal panel guys in the chat room. So I really do appreciate that. Goes a long way, mate.
That's only £3, right? Now that you told us it's 40% by YouTube.
Yeah, it is. But that's how
ridiculous.
But that's how the game's played, bro.
That's usury rate. That should be illegal.
But YouTube put the platform up, don't they? So it is what it is.
Yeah.
If I could give my closing remarks, because I didn't give a score, I'm going to give him a 7.5. And I just want to reiterate that I don't mind having him, Apollo. I don't mind having him as a squad player as long as we get Partey, as long as we get the players we need. I don't really care who's on the bench, because we're gonna be so strong that if Elneny comes in the last 20 minutes to hold the game, okay, so be it. But we need to make sure we get the players that we need.
So a couple of things before you move on, Apollo. So Thiago wants to play for Liverpool. What's his name that went to Chelsea? The forward Warner want to play for Liverpool. They didn't go to Liverpool. You know why? Because the Fenway Group is not spending that money. They're spending Suarez money. They're spending Coutinho money. They're not spending a ton of money, and they're the champions.
And they're the champions.
We don't have North African money, oil money. We can just spend it, or Aubameyang's money, where he, where he got his money from. We don't have that kind of money to spend. It's not going to happen. American owners. If they have 10 billion, they want 20 billion. They want 200 billion, like Bezos.
I agree.
They're not wasting money. It's not happening.
And whereas with the oil-rich companies, Russian oil, Arab oil, they don't care. You know why? Because the oil is running 24 hours a day. Even when you sleep, you earn money. So it don't make no difference to them. You when you're sleeping, when you buy a football team, listen, that's interest money. For some people, it's their whole life. It's their life's dream. I've seen that because I'm a Redskins fan. Dan Snyder, our owner, that he's a big fan. That's his live stream. He ain't got oil money. He's in communications. He ain't got oil
They're not
money.
called the Redskins anymore.
They are.
They're not called the Redskins
Not to you,
anymore.
but they are to me, mate. Yeah. I still love Redskins gear. They're still to me. So, and remember, Tony, I support Native Indians, not you. Yeah. So, so for me, guys, Elneny, I gave him a 7. Yeah. I gave him a 7. He used the ball sensibly. It's the high passing accuracy. We saw him not make too many mistakes. High motor, so much energy with Elneny yesterday. He got into Liverpool's face with the positioning and the pressing, clogging up passing lanes. I really like what I saw from him, and I hope he sticks around and plays in the midfield in the reserves and becomes an option, late in the game to rest some tired legs. Because I don't think Torreira's going to be around. So, I would take that swap in a minute. But by any means, is he not a starter? Vincey, that is a whole other session. We're at 2 hours at the moment, mate. We have it. If we did that, we'd be here till midnight. So we're going to have to leave that for maybe we'll do that on Wednesday. Yeah. We've done, right, Granit Xhaka now. Tony, you got the conch. Guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Granit Xhaka, the guy who should be replaced by Elneny.
So Granit Xhaka didn't have a bad game. Again, alluding to Bertram's comment, when you stifle a midfield the likes of what Liverpool are coming with, and you help the defensive unit overall, stopping them to creating, numerous attempts on target, he deserves some credit. So he gets a 7, same as Elneny, fastest donkey. Well done, and well done with that 7.
Excellent. So 7. So we've got some guys really throwing the banter in at the moment now. Arsenal won't wear Arsenal kit. Yes, that's right. Yeah, support the Redskins. Yeah. Do you know why I support the Redskins? Because I've actually spoken to 6 tribe leaders, and I talk to them actually quite regularly. And they, what you're hearing in the white media is not exactly what the tribes want, and it's not what they're saying. And the tribes have tried 19 times to get meetings on all the formats: Fox News, ABC, NBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post. And you know what? None of them want to see them. Yeah. Don't know
see
what
that picture, Apollo. Yeah, that's with the nations. Yeah, that's with the Indians, the natural, real, authentic people of North America.
Yes.
So when you said that I don't support these people, I was on the front line outside Dallas AT&T Stadium with these guys in support of their fight against being called Redskins.
Okay, so that's great. That's
I'm
great.
not with the Indians because I was with them, bro.
Yeah, okay. So I take that back for you, but I've been fighting this fight for 27 years, Tony.
Why are we debating a team that's not good?
Yeah,
we're talking about love Arsenal.
I totally
we're never talking about
so guys,
in the doldrums for years.
So guys,
I won't recover for
let's
any
get the numbers up for Xhaka. So we've got T going with 7. We've got 18 going with 6, replacing with Elneny. Figure says Elneny is he is all right, mate. It's just that, but he's not the solution. That's the thing. And at the moment, we don't need solutions outside of a squad 25. Solutions are being worked on. They're talking about Thomas Partey, Diawara. They're looking for solutions. But what they also need, if the likes of Torreira leaves, is they need replacements. Because what happens after 70 minutes when Partey has run his legs off? What happens if Partey gets a red card? What happens if Partey gets injured? What are you going to do then? T says nobody should get under 7. Uh-oh. We're doing Xhaka. So, we're doing Xhaka, so uh-oh. Carletto, Xhaka, African Gooners guy, 7. Xhaka gets a 6.5 from Style. From Cricket Ball, Style give him a 6.5 as well. Geordie's giving him a solid 7. And it's some madness going on here, guys. Yeah, believe I'm deep on that on all levels, and I'm still trying to track down. I got my top sorted out, so I'm just waiting for them to come through. Moss has gone for a 7 with Xhaka, and ready to sell my Xhaka and replace it with Thiago for real. D, we're missing you guys. We're missing your marks out of 10, bro. We're missing your input. Ebony, you got the conch.
All right. Granit Xhaka. I'm going to give him a 7.
Hey!
I'm going to give him a 7. I mean, his interceptions were on point, but that's just one game. Okay. If we could sell Xhaka, then by all means sell him, get Partey if possible. But that's just one game. I'm not his biggest fan. You know, he's the kind of player that will give the ball away. He'll have one great game, and then, you know, he'll have 10 crap games and give the ball away at any given opportunity. But yesterday, he for me, he bossed it. So, and his interceptions, like I said, were on point. So 7.
Excellent. A big shout out to you, Figure Beats. He's from Goon Squad, guys. So we're hoping to get a Goon Squad show on the channel when the season starts. So I'm talking to T about it, and hopefully that's something that is going to happen. And nice one, Tony. Nice one up there. And so hopefully we're going to work on that. I don't know what we need to work out, the format, what day it's going to be on, whether they want me to host it or, you know, it's this channel's growing so big right now that we're getting to the stage now where you're going to see other people's content as well as mine. Because remember, 101 it means for everybody, and it's always been set up as a community. That's where it was with NORAD, Tony, myself. You know, we're one of the I'd like to say chairman of the actual 101, and it was always meant to be a community. Even when we started with 10 people, it was always meant to be that. Right now, we're coming up to 3,000 on YouTube, 4,000 on Facebook, and it's growing. And I think that it's important to hear what everyone's got to say. Granit Xhaka, before I go to Bertram, Xhaka got a 6 from me. I thought it was above average. I thought it was a solid game from him. It didn't give a ball away too much, and you know I do a counter on that. I always count. I sit down there with my fingers and I count. I got my pad here with my pen, making notes of the game, and he only gave the ball away twice yesterday, and he averages 5.6. So he was slightly better there. He had some important interceptions, I thought, and he had some nice balls. He slid one to Saka on the right-hand side, but he never really stood out with putting Liverpool on the back foot. And that's me. Everybody talks about how much of a great passer he is, and I judge him on that. And forgive me, but he isn't a great passer. I've just got to say it, because I've been waiting for all these years to see him do it. He ain't doing it. So at some point, I've got to be real about the player and saying he can't pass. Simple as that, yeah? And if he can, I want you to prove me otherwise, because I made the video on it. I talked to Igel from Sunny TV about it as well. I put the video in this link before, and I've played it to everybody. And because I've shown everyone the numbers, not a single person has come back to me with an argument. So he is what he is. Arteta is making him serviceable. He's cutting down on his mistakes, so he's not costing us. And as long as he's not costing us and he's not a passenger, then fine. Yeah, I got no problem with it. I don't respect the guy anyway because of what he said to the fans. But this is about his performances on the pitch. And if he's not being a liability in terms of our result, then I can live with that. But he's still getting a 6. Bertram, you got the con.
Please send that video to Tom.
Oh yeah. I know Tom's already seen it.
Maybe you need to watch it again.
Tom's already seen it.
So I think Jesus forgave Judas, or whoever it was that. So at some point, Xhaka has to get forgiveness for his response to the fan of them berating him. So I'll leave it at that. I thought Xhaka, look, the fact that we prevented Liverpool to score 1 goal didn't penetrate us through the middle. This is essential because Elneny and Xhaka were a wall yesterday. We're not going to dominate possession against that team. Very few teams do, but they weren't effective possessions that they have. It's one thing, but look, their normal threat comes from the wings, and Trent Alexander was yesterday, but they weren't penetrating through the middle. And Firmino didn't have his normal stellar game where he set up Mane or set up Salah or other players coming through. That's because Xhaka and Elneny were very effective at tandem. And someone mentioned about Ceballos and him having the ball. Ceballos loved to keep the ball. And what they would have done yesterday is create a space behind him when he goes forward. So we're missing that yesterday, which is when you're very compact and you're not venturing forward, it prevents your team from ever have the chance to exploit your vulnerability, which we didn't have yesterday. When Ceballos plays, he goes forward quite a bit. He's always holding to the ball. When he loses the ball, we're under more pressure. So Xhaka was very effective. So Elneny, he gets a 7.5. And I suggest that, Apollo, you read, I forgot what, because I haven't read the Bible in a while. to give forgiveness to Xhaka, and so we don't longer have to hear what he did last year because it's constant, and the fans keep saying they'll never forgive him. We all should forgive.
You know, when someone,
but not necessarily forget.
Yeah, when someone makes a mistake, you wait for that person to apologize before you forgive them. Forgiveness comes out of apologizing. Yeah, he ain't done that. So
he did apologize. You mean I like the apology? He didn't. No, he didn't apologize.
No, he
didn't.
He didn't. He
did.
apologize.
I can go look at my line for you. You know what?
He didn't do it, man. It was his. No, I know personally because the agent. It was his agent that put that on his social media account. He didn't do it. He apologizes when you go in front of the TV screen or you go whatever and you make a statement or you make a video of your apology. It's been done before.
My ears are bleeding. My ears are bleeding. It has nothing to do with that.
Yes, sir. You got the contrast, so let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts.
He's just crap. It's nothing to do with that. He's just not a good player. Stop using that as an excuse. It has nothing to do about what he said to the fans. Before that and after that, he's always been a crap player. He's always been an average player. I said it and I'll say it again. If you ever gave me a tissue paper with Granit Xhaka's signature on it, I would blow my nose in it and give it back to you. Period. I'm not even going to waste my breath on him. I'm not giving him a rating. He didn't have a bad match. He had a good match, but that doesn't change the fact that he's still not good enough for Arsenal. And Elneny should replace him. And if, all these Xhaka worshippers, if he's that good, why isn't any team wanting him? I mean, he can't even make a championship team, man. This guy, I can fight him in the
he
park.
Wouldn't play. He'd get eaten. He'd get eaten alive in the championship.
Can I say something? Can I say something? This is the fourth paragraph of Xhaka's statement. In this situation, I let myself be carried away. Wait. Let me finish. And react in a way.
I've already told you that his agent. I've already told you his agent.
It says from Xhaka. People can say what they want to say. We hear things about Gabriel and agents. It says it came from him. That's all. Most things athletes read don't come from the athletes. It's written by their lawyers or the agents. That's how it works. So
Trump tells you disinfectant's going to cure coronavirus, and you
guys, you missed the point. No, Apollo, you missed the point, Apollo. Most things that athletes read to the public is written by a lawyer or a writer or someone they believe can articulate their thoughts to the general public. That's how it works.
No, can I tell you how it works from the agent's mouth? They employ social media companies to send their messages out. That's what they do. And the agent, his agent, and I've heard it straight from the horse's mouth, his agent wrote that up because he was waiting so long. A long period had gone by and nothing had been said. And the fan base was getting word. They were jumping on him and he was getting death threats to his family and everything. And the agent took it upon him to make that statement happen. I know the company that did it. So that's not what happened.
Did Xhaka come out and say he's not apologizing? Did he say he's not apologizing?
Xhaka has never come out and apologized. I've seen players mess up and do videos on social medias where you can see their face and apologize. This is not what happened. Look, I'm standing my ground, and that's where it is.
No, but just before I have to add, Bertram, it's about the performances on the field. It's nothing about that. I don't care about that.
We're not talking about no.
Yeah,
we agree with that, African.
That's all it is.
We're not disagreeing with that, African. What I'm saying is that Apollo says this all the time. He can't forgive him. Yeah, we agree on the performances. We agree that, as Tony calls him, an enhanced donkey, I'll call it. Yeah. Right? I don't call him a donkey. He's a player. And he's not what we need in that center of the midfield. We need Partey or someone like Thiago, frankly, who could play there. He's not the player we need, but I said we should forgive and move on.
Yeah, I've forgiven him about that. I don't really care about that because I didn't change my opinion. I just look at his performances. But he didn't apologize. I mean, that statement you read might have been that, but he didn't officially apologize. And it's been so long that I think people have really forgotten about that situation. But we judge him on his performance and his contribution to the team, which is not good enough.
Okay, guys. Cool Case just saying, where's your top 4 quote? Okay, here comes a quote again. We've never made the top 4 with Xhaka. And that tells you all you need to know about his contribution to the team. So, guys, let's move on.
Aubameyang, one thing before you go on. We talk about Elneny quite a bit. I think Arteta sees Elneny in himself. As Arteta, when he came to us, that's how he played. 5-yard passes, 2-yard passes. He never made a pass in the final third. That was Arteta.
Arteta could score screamers. Don't forget that. And he could take
once every 10 years. Once every 10 years. Go look at the tapes.
I have looked. Listen,
more than once in 10 years.
Arteta never gave the ball away. Let's move on. He wasn't a liability. This guy's a liability. Guys, in the chat, send your ratings out for Bukayo Saka. Tony, let's hear your numbers for Saka.
So fantastic assist for the goal. Generally, I thought he was having a bit of a poor time, as I mentioned earlier, defending on the left-hand side against Robertson. But, you know, progressively, as in terms of going forward, he was superb. He was doing really well. He was causing their midfield trouble. His ball retention is superb. You know, I give him high praise because the ball from Bellerin down the wing before he crosses to Aubameyang, he clutches this ball out of the air like, you know, Henry-esque is the way he catches the ball on a you know, instep of his shoe. So I thought he had a game where he grew into it. As I said, he did get a rollicking from Bellerin. So I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to see some 8s coming into the panel right now. And so let's go and see what the guys are saying. Cricket Ball's giving him a 7.5. Nitesh, what's going on, Nitesh, bro? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Nice to see you there, man. 18's given Saka an 8. Style has given Saka an 8. Moses has given Saka an 8. Guys, don't forget in the chat, hit that like button in for the video. It doesn't cost you nothing, and it recommends my video to thousands of Arsenal fans worldwide. Carletto has gone 8, should have been called up for the England squad. Yeah, they've been very careful about that because they have talked to him about whether he wants to play for his native country or whether he wants to play for England. And I think the reason why he hasn't been called up is for that reason and that reason only. So they're being quite sensitive to that situation. Kuke has given Saka outworked them, 8. Arsenal were by far more athletic than Liverpool in the game, so that helped them a lot. Most importantly, Arsenal knew how to capitalize on Liverpool's mistakes. T is them a grade there. Yep, Saka up and down towards the end, but still an 8. He was putting the ball where it needed to go. Totally agreed, bro. Another 8. Bare 8s for Saka. Saka mixed the game defensively, but his forward play was outstanding. Agreed. Ebony, you got the conch.
I will give Saka an 8. I thought his athleticism is he's just, you know, you give him the ball and he will pass it where it needs to pass. That assist that he gave to Aubameyang was one of the best that he's ever done, or one of the best that I've seen. I mean, I think in the first half he played better in the second half. He was a bit quiet in the second half for me. So, but I mean, in saying that, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought it was immense, but just a bit too quiet in the second half for me. But an 8.
Yeah, I mean, for me, guys, he had that assist to Aubameyang. He should have had another assist with a perfectly weighted pass to Nketiah.
That as well.
Yeah, forcing Alisson into a really good save. Alisson got down very quick for that Nketiah chance. And look, I'm giving him an 8. I'm not going to waste time. Everyone's giving him an 8, and that was my score that I drew up earlier on today. Bertram, you got a conch.
I gave him a 7. I thought he was excellent offensively and poor defensively. And I believe the game is played 2 ways. It's not just, I think offensively, the pass to Aubameyang was very insightful, was an excellent pass. Even though I don't know what assist is nowadays because I thought Abok should have created that on his own. It was a brilliant change of play, of changing the field. But with goals like that, there should be an assist associated with that.
Yeah.
Not those goals,
yeah,
frankly. I think the ball to Nketiah was a brilliant pass. I thought Nketiah fluffed his line because he actually could take an extra step on the shot that he took. And people say it's a great save by Alisson. It was a good save. It wasn't a great save.
Yeah, he got down well to the left-hand side, which is a weakness. He's a right-footed goal. As you know, goalkeeper coaching, your affinity you lean to is a quicker way of getting down. Like I'm left-footed, I can get down to my left side quickly, not so much on my right side. So when you look at that, it's very technical, but yeah, it was a good save.
But I thought offensively he was very good when he got the ball, and second half when he got out of possession. But I thought defensively he was atrocious, frankly. So I gave him a 7. I think the game is played two ways, and I can't just like we judge Maitland-Niles a lot based on his contribution overall. Got to just Saka the same way, and I think he's a very good offensive player, and he plays in the left back position too. So I was a little bit surprised how he didn't play that well defensively, especially against Robertson.
It's for Carletto. Carletto, his parents are Nigerian immigrants, my friend. So that's the reason why he's thinking about. I think that's a reason to call him up. To what people are saying, because that is maybe tricky. No, that's why Southgate called up Amen. That's why he called up Calvin Phillips. Countries do this. They call you up to make sure you're in an official match, so you can't play from another country. They didn't do that with Zaha, and that's why Zaha ended up playing for Ivory Coast. And frankly, they did with Zaha that I had him in the last World Cup. Countries do this because they want to make sure they lock you in. They'll call him up at some point. They think he's probably still young. He's not going to make a Nigeria decision yet. He's only 18 years old. Probably wait for another year before he does that. Yeah, both of his parents were born in Nigeria, bro. They're immigrants, so they came over to the UK. African Gooner, let's go with you and Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I'm going to give a similar score to Bertram. 7, like his new shirt looks good on him. He does need to understand there's a lot of pressure on him because Sanchez used to wear that shirt, and Sanchez was one of my favorite players and a great player for Arsenal, regardless of the way things ended. I mean, you can't deny that. As Bertram said, he played at a left and right back, so it was weird that he, defensively he's looking weak, and I think that since he's moved into a more attacking position, he isn't as strong defensively. And as we said earlier, Bellerin called him out once or twice on it, but that pass to Aubameyang, that has to be considered as an assist because that was on a plate for Aubameyang, and it was at the right time, the perfect amount of pace, and yeah, it was a great pass. And I think he's going to be very integral to a lot of the things that we're going to do this season. And don't forget, another assist, as I said, Bertram, another assist. It's an assist machine. And it's going to be, not too long till he's going to turn these assists into his own goals, and he's going to start getting confidence to take those shots on his own. So, yeah, I'm going to give him 7.
So, guys, let's move on. We're on the back end of. We've only got 2 more to go, plus Arteta. Eddie Nketiah, guys, show up your score for Eddie Nketiah. I'm going to go first on this one. Because as you guys know, I'm a big Nketiah fan. I've given him a 6.5 out of 10. He had 2 great chances to score. One of them a great save pulled off by Alisson. And, let me remind you what happened in the same game. As I said, Salah had 3 chances where he didn't even hit the target. Mane had 2 chances which pulled off great saves. So this is what happens to even the best players in the world. And we're expecting him to finish this off when world-class players on the same pitch in the same game have also failed to do what he did. So we can't expect him to be great offensively all the time. But I want to tell you one thing. His defensive game was outstanding and one of the best on the field. What he did in order to cave in on their midfield was outstanding. And I'm going to leave that there until I talk about Arteta, because this is all about the tactics. It's a role that we saw Lacazette play against Man City in the semi-final, when Lacazette was missing literally for most of the game, and all he was doing was shutting down that cog in the midfield, that pivot play, and that's what he was doing. And Nketiah was fantastic at doing that. Really, really good. Look, he chose him again, and it's just a reminder to anyone that he belongs here and will continue to grow within this team. So I've given him a 6.5 out of 10. Tony, let's hear your score for Nketiah.
Okay, so you and I saw a different game because I didn't think his pressing was really that great. He got tired. He got tired very early, and he was on the pitch, at least for me, 10 minutes longer than he should have been. He worked hard. That first half, he worked his socks off. But in terms of actual closing, he achieved very little up front. Very little. Yeah. We were still Liverpool had no problem getting the ball over the halfway.
Yeah, we were definitely watching 2 different games then.
Yeah. I literally see him doing a lot of hard work, but not actually effective work. And I guess you could call it effective if you slow the pace of the opposing team from building an attack.
No, I did what Bertram said. I watched the game again, and I paid attention to what he was doing tactically, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Did he make any tackles when you rewatched the game?
Yeah,
I think he had 2. I think if you look at your stats, you'll find he made 2 tackles.
I wasn't talking about the tackles. I was talking about what he did in adjacent to how the system plays out, and he was excellent doing it.
The system yesterday did not work for Eddie Nketiah for me, so he gets a 7 still, because I don't think anyone in a win gets less than that. I mean, he ran out of legs, but he did play in the midweek against MK Dons. He's far from the finished article as far as I'm concerned. Last year, he had way better games. The game where he intercepted the keeper playing out and scored a goal. He did that a number of times last year. Yesterday, he was getting nowhere near that. And obviously, you're playing a much better defense in Liverpool, but I thought he was the weakest link in the whole team yesterday. Just hold up play was average. He had some moments, but he missed some golden opportunities to score, and just not his day. Not his day.
Okay, so let's get some scores on the doors. Cool K, what he's talking about? Eddie stopped. Yeah, I know. I was watching that when I watched the replay. Cool K's giving him a 7.5. Moses has given Eddie a 6. Nitish has given him a 5. Styles given him a 6. Cricketball's given him 6.5. Is that a grade in there? No, it isn't. T's given him a 6.5 from me. I'm a fan, but just need a little more from him. Want to see him on his Vardy. Yeah, he's got the potential to be a Vardy. But remember, he's only 20 years old, so let's give this guy time to develop. I'm more interested in what he's doing defensively, because what he's doing defensively, he's the best at it. I wouldn't see Lacazette being able to do what he does. Mind you, I can see Martinelli doing it. But then for some reason they look at Martinelli as more of a wide player. So I'm really talking about the anchor. But Martinelli's so good, he can play anywhere. He can play on the flanks. He can play behind the striker. He can play as a main striker. He can do whatever they want. The sky's the limit. And we know Martinelli guys just started running on Thursday. So he's on his way back, which is really good to see. 18's given Eddie a 7. Sporty's given Eddie 6.5. So there's some good numbers coming in from Eddie. Carletto's given him a 4 and just said he looked poor. Strange. That's the lowest score that we've seen from Eddie. Ebony.
Eddie. He could have scored twice, but as I kept saying yesterday to Bertram, leave the boy alone. He will get his chances. It just wasn't his day yesterday. Offensively, he did okay. Defensively, he did a little bit better. I agree that he got a little bit tired, but but he should have put the 2 chances away, especially the first chance. So I'll give him a 6. It wasn't his best game, but he did well enough. 6. Excellent.
Bertram, you got the conch, bro.
So he's only getting this score because we won. I gave him a 5.
That's terrible.
And I'm tempering my comments because Naomi said Emily gave me a hard time on the podcast.
That's a terrible score. You're better than that, Bertram. I'm a little disappointed in you with that score.
He was poor. He did nothing. He missed. Look.
One of the best defensive displays.
Wait. No. Look. No, first of all, it was a good defensive play because you know why? When you're playing Liverpool and we're playing so deep, it's very difficult for the front 3 to really pressure their defense because there's no support coming from behind. When you're Man City and Liverpool, your front 3 was very effective if everyone is moving up. We weren't doing that. And Elneny and Xhaka are sitting deep. So is our defense. So there's a gap in between, and they were exploiting that gap, but they couldn't get at our midfield because the midfield was preventing that block. So at the end of the day, he couldn't be effective. So he wasn't effective defensively. He was poor offensively. And Naomi's and Evan saying, leave the boy alone, because I was calling him out because he was so poor. The chance that Saka gave him, I could score that goal.
I don't know what.
On top of the box, I could have scored that goal. Even today, I could score that goal. Even in my with no knees today on my operation, I could score that goal, because you know why? You keep saying Salah missed. I don't care what Salah did or Mane did. I care what Nketiah does. He's 20. He's fit. He's full of running. He can use left and right foot.
So he should be better than those two names then.
No. But see, I see the thing, Apollo.
Oh God.
I don't judge you based on potential. I don't judge you based on your youth. You're getting paid like a player on the team. You're part of the 25-man squad. I judge you accordingly. Your age has nothing to do with this. As go play for the under 23, you want to be judged with that. Don't play for the senior team. Go play for the under 23. You're judged based on where you are in the team. He's a starting center forward, even over Lacazette. Would we be tempering Lacazette coming back and say, you know what, Lacazette is not feeling well today. He has a stomach ache, or Lacazette is not feeling well because he's heel hurt? No. You judge him based on where he is. When he goes to negotiate his contract, no one is saying you're a kid. They're saying they'll play you based on performance. He wasn't that good. And I'm tempering my comments. I'm tempering my comments by saying he wasn't that good. No, that's
fine. Look, we're here to give our opinion, so I'm not going to push back on you because...
No, look.
I'm not going to push back on Tony
effective.
Because it's
his
Tony's
pressing
opinion.
wasn't effective.
It's subjective. It's whatever you think, man. But that's not what I said.
His pressing wasn't effective because of how Liverpool plays. It just wasn't.
The African Gooner, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I kind of resonate with both Tony and Bertram, and I think it's not only on this performance; it's just on his performances. In a while, you say he's still 20 and he's still developing. Look at Martinelli, man. That kid's 18. He came from nowhere, and he's better than Nketiah. So that argument is out the window for me. And I'm giving him a 6. I think a 5.
Hold on, bro. Hold on a second. Martinelli and Haaland are probably the two most talented. Both of us are the same age, actually. Two of the most talented young players in the world. Let's get that straight. So comparing Martinelli and Haaland, who's at Borussia Dortmund, them two guys right there are probably, hopefully, going to grow into the next two world beaters. Yeah, we might in 5 years' time we might be talking about them like Ronaldo and Messi. That's how good I think.
I want to be talking about it. I want to be talking like that about it.
No, don't do that. Don't. You know why? No, don't do that. Because look,
let me finish. Let me give my point.
World Cup went through this for 10 years with the same thing.
You can't even compare those two players. They're completely different players. They're completely different attributes.
Guys,
can I say
go on. Yeah, go on. Let him talk.
We're trying to make top 4. We're trying to make top 4.
Yeah, let him talk. Let him finish.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, look, Apollo, I don't disagree with you. He works hard all the time. He's a hard worker, but that's a minimum requirement, like for any player. So for me, the thing is with Nketiah, he needs 2 or 3 chances to finish, and you can give him 3 chances on a plate, and he won't finish them. And that's my issue with him. I want him to finish more goals. He gets too many opportunities, and he wastes them. He gets nervous, and then he either shoots it over the bar, he shoots it straight at the keeper. Frankly, that opportunity that Saka gave him, he could have shot it anywhere, left, right, top left, top right, anywhere, even at the bottom. He shot it. He missed the shot completely. He scuffed it, and he shot it. I mean, it was a good save, but it was really easy save for a keeper like Liverpool. So for me, he works hard, yes, but he just doesn't have the quality. I would loan him out. I'm not saying sell him. I'm saying loan him out because he's not it for me. Loan him out, let him get some game time. We were talking about Leeds when he went there. He didn't really play that much. Yes, he played a little bit. Yes, he scored some goals.
It was the second. I don't know what I'm not saying that, and I'm done because this is ridiculous.
So I'm giving him a 6.
How can you're not making any sense?
I feel when you talk about Xhaka. That's why I feel when you talk about Xhaka.
You guys are not making any sense, man. I mean, you're talking about putting a guy on loan when the guy was on loan. Arteta saw what he could do, and he decided this is what we need. And you're saying,
there's no one else.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What's important is that you get it, and it's your opinion, and it's your view. That's what's important.
There's 3 of us. Yeah, 3 out of 5 of us had similar views. Yeah.
So guys, Kuke, I'm afraid these high expectations from my fans are killing 100%. That is a brilliant comment. And that's why I brought up the Walcott issue, because this is what that guy went through for 10 years, and I'm afraid Nketiah might be the next kid on the block with all
No,
that.
just a quick question, Apollo.
Nketiah is not Theo Walcott.
Wait, Bertrand, just a quick question.
This is why
Between Maitland-Niles and Eddie Nketiah, who's better right now? Who's a more polished player right now?
There's no comparison.
There you go.
Can I just say this?
But you can't compare them because one guy's played. One guy hasn't even played. Oh my God, Nketiah, he hasn't even played 10 games for Arsenal.
Yes, he has.
Go on, Ebony.
Ebony, go ahead. Can we have Ebony speak, please? Can we hear from Ebony, please? Can we hear from Ebony?
Hold on a second. The boy is 21 years old. He's got time to develop. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss shoot. Give him time.
Yeah,
You know,
let him play in the smaller stuff.
Don't put this big bag of hay on his shoulders yet. Give him time.
That's what happens when
he's
you play for
Thank you. Well done.
He's still developing. He's still
Great
developing.
comment, Ebony. Great
So guys, let me say something.
Right,
We
so
don't have
before you say
guys,
that, the guys in the
we
chat
don't
are waiting
have
to get their
time.
numbers up for Aubameyang. Can you put your numbers up for Aubameyang, please, everybody in the chat? Nice one,
We don't
guys.
have time. We don't have time. The baby kids. Sorry.
Thank you.
Right. Tony.
Thank you.
Tony, what's your numbers for
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, bro? Aubameyang.
Okay, Aubameyang, a captain's display. I was pleased to see him tracking back. Took his goal wonderfully. Took his penalty very lovely as well. What did I give? I gave Maitland-Niles 9.5 man of the match. I'm going to give Aubameyang a 9. Very good performance.
Ooh.
Can't give him a 10. He wasn't the best player on the
Yeah,
pitch.
I agree. I agree with that. Ebony, what would you give Aubameyang?
I'd give him a 9. I mean, yes, he took his goal well. He's not, as we were saying yesterday on the podcast, he's not the greatest of passers, but what he does is that he's more of a poacher. He's not really somebody who tracks back. He's just there when the ball is needed to be passed to him. He took his goal well, took his penalty well. He did what Aubameyang does what Aubameyang does, and that's the poacher's performance. And he's not the first to have done it either. So, but he's a goal scorer. That's what we expect from him. But on that, I'm going to give him an 8. Actually, I'm going to give him an 8.
Wow. Okay. I thought he took his goal really, really, really well.
He did.
Yeah, I thought he. So let's look and see what our guys are talking about. There's some really good support. The really great support coming from the panel, from the guys there, and all saying the right things in terms of what Eddie's been able to do for the club and why he's in the position he is. So thanks for that. What's up, Neo Miss? Good to have you around, bro. Maitland-Niles has played a hell of a lot in the 13. That's exactly what I'm saying. You can't compare the two. I don't know what Bertram and Lafkin Gooner are drinking today, but it's a bank holiday, so I'm going to go and hit the rum after this as well. Aubameyang, 18, is giving him a 9. Cricket Ball's giving him a 9. I think he's going to get pure 9s. James is actually giving him 9.5 in man of the match. Neomis a 9. I don't know what Neomis and Bertrand were talking about yesterday in the chat, but I'm sure. Hey, listen, Neomis, let's get some of that banter up here, man, because that was enjoyable watching you guys yesterday. Nitesh is giving him a 9 as well. Nitesh is saying Niles, he's man of the match. I hear you, bro. Moses has gone for a 9. Carletto has gone for a 9 as well. T. Obama, blood clot Yang, world class. Saw Henry when he scored that goal. Best striker in the Premiership, 9.5. He's turned up for bigger. That was the thing with me, bro. Yeah? T, the one thing that I said, I sat down on this panel, we actually had a bet. We said, how many goals was Aubameyang going to score in the semi-final? And African Gooners, he's pointing to himself because he's the one that got it right. You did, and you nailed it, mate. I said he was going to flop because he's flopped against big teams in the past. Now, this guy, I gave him a 9 as well. And this guy has scored 5 goals in his last 3 games against big teams. Come on, guys. Tony's rubbing his beard. Ebony's just in depth looking into the abyss. Bertram can't wait to get his score. 5 goals in the last 3 games. And we got
Can I just make a correction?
Yeah.
I just make a correction. So I think it was somebody, Carlito. No, it wasn't a poacher's goal. It was an assist goal. But that's what he does. That's what he does. It's like he doesn't necessarily fight for the ball. He's one of these players that you have to feed it to him, and that's exactly what he did. Exactly happy yesterday with him and Saka. So, but he took it away. You can't take it away from him. You can't take any goals that he scored.
You can't take it any.
Best goal. That's his best goal that he scored for me.
Well, I think the one in the FA Cup final when he shimmied the guy. I'm going to your right. I'm going to my right. Boom. Yeah. I think that was his best. Yeah. Sporty's gone for a 9.5. Great goal, great penalty, and actually, yeah. Listen, I've given him stick about his penalties, and his last few penalties, he's really put them away. That's what happens when you're under pressure with a guy like Pepe in the team, because Pepe don't miss. So when Pepe's bringing that level, you need to up your penalty, otherwise you ain't going to take any. It's as simple as that. Alex is saying, well said, Ebony, got to give these youngsters a chance. Patience. Again, nice comments there for Eddie Nketiah.
Don't put too much pressure on the guy. He's 21 years old. He's got about 10, 12 years left in him.
Listen to Nitesh. We should move to Wembley for good.
I agree.
In terms of Alex's comment before Bertram goes, I mean, yes, I agree that we have to give our youngsters a chance and stuff, but we are so behind that we don't have the luxury to give these guys the patience and stuff. That's why, we're frustrated, is because we have too many youngsters, and we keep saying we're giving too many chances. We need ready-made players. We've been waiting for a very long time.
I love you. I love you.
You know money for that.
No, hold on. African Gooner, me and you are like family. I'm still waiting to meet your dad, by the way. But that is an impossible statement, because we need 4 to 6 transfer windows to transform this team. It's done incrementally. It's a work in progress, my friend. So when I hear you and Bertram saying we need instant this, instant that, you're not living in the real world, man.
We're 2 players away from a top 4 team, in my opinion. Partey and Thiago, just 2 players away from actually living.
I agree with you. I agree. I do agree. Bertram, what's Aubameyang, bro? Aubameyang.
So I gave him an 8.5. Sure. I hear all I struggle with how we rate players. So he scored the goal, this exceptional goal. I agree. His goal scoring was a 10 plus. He can't pass the ball to save his life.
Well.
We were saying on the podcast. We were saying on Saturday we're saying the same thing. Naomi and I were back and forth with Ebony on this whole thing. I said, here's another turnover again. Boom, another turnover. Man can't pass the ball. He's been playing the ball for 31 years and still can't pass the ball. Brilliant goal scorer. We all agree on that. And there was an argument between Liverpool fans and AFTV about who's a better player, overall player, Salah or Aubameyang. It's not close. Aubameyang is a better goal scorer, probably second best goal scorer in the league. I think Aguero is the best, frankly, in my view. But at the end of the day, his overall game is not what it should be at his level and his compensation, frankly. Yeah. He's a brilliant goal scorer. We don't disagree about his goals. And the only person he's beat in the last 2 years in the league playing for us is when he beat Zuma to score that goal.
But remember, so I want to bring you back.
I
want to bring you back to 12 months ago when you said Harry Kane was a better player than Aubameyang. This season,
he looked a better player than Aubameyang.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say.
But we haven't seen Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been injured. We haven't seen Harry Kane.
Oh,
Harry Kane is valued at £200 million, frankly, right? We haven't seen him. He's been injured.
By who?
Oh God!
No, he's English. No, English players overvalued.
English players.
His values come down over time because he's been injured.
Could you imagine if Aubameyang was English? It'd be worth
guys, be fair. I know he's Tottenham. I know Harry Kane is Tottenham, but he scored a bunch of goals in the league against us. We are the worst. We're the team that shouldn't say anything about Harry Kane. Because he's made me upset a lot of times. You guys
got on my back, Bertram, and you were one of the guys when I said that Harry Kane is a good player and Son is a good player. You guys are like, "Oh,
Harry Kane's a better all-around player than Aubameyang. Better all-around player."
Yes,
now he's a better all-around player. Yeah. Aubameyang is one-dimensional. Yeah. Great goal scorer, can't pass, can't beat a man. Anyway, we love him. He's ours, and we love him. I gave him an 8.5. I thought the referee's game was where it should be, but the goal was exceptional. And I'm not and who's blaming Williams because what Williams did on Liverpool? That's nonsense. What you give credit where credit is due is an exceptional goal. So he gets an 8.5.
T is saying Bertram saying what? Kane was better than Uber. Apollo, give Bertram P45 and get me on there. Listen,
see, guys, no. Here's a mistake people make. Your overall play, guys. Think about this. My control. I can beat a man. I can make a pass. I can split a defense the pass. I can hold the ball up. When does Aubameyang ever hold the ball up? When does he ever beat a man? When can he make a pass?
All right,
or we just judge based on goal scoring?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of that. I mean, we know the goal scoring. Harry Kane 24, Aubameyang 29. The assists, Harry Kane 2.
How many games?
Right, I better look at that.
Let's not skew the stats now. Let's not make the stats fit what we want it to be.
Yeah,
use the stats. Yeah. How many games did he play?
Yeah, you're right.
He played 38 games last year.
I'm going to look at that now. You're right.
Okay. We're played 15 games, probably half the season.
Well, remember, he was supposed to be out for the rest of the season, and he made it back. So, can you guys converse?
And he has not been the same player since he came back, by the way. He's not been the same player.
Right. There we go. So I've got him, and now we need Harry Kane. Go on, you guys chat while I do this.
No, but I say, as a fan, you have to be impartial. You got to be objective when you make an assessment of players. Don't just say, I love this player, so he's better. Make an objective assessment based on the attributes of the player. The game is not only scoring goals. The game is not only holding up the ball. That's why we complain about Lacazette. Lacazette is a brilliant hold-up player. He's just not scoring.
Yeah, so
he's a better hold-up man.
I was gonna give my rating in the time being.
Lacazette, I don't know what's up with Lacazette. Maybe he's just tired. I don't know. Maybe he's tired. You know, maybe he's got personal problems. Nobody knows why he's not scoring right now.
Right, but, guys, we got the stats here.
I think if we keep him, but I hope he's not sold. But if we do keep him, then maybe he'll get back to his old self.
We've got the stats, and it's very surprising. And Aubameyang is coming out looking like a star. Aubameyang, 31 goals. What is that? No, let's not count that.
Premier League goals alone. The rest of the league don't count.
No, because you played the whole season. So
Spain played Champions League. Aubameyang playing the Europa League.
That's
you
right.
Can't compare the two.
30 goals for Aubameyang.
Yeah.
24 goals for Harry Kane. In 3,400 minutes for Aubameyang and 3,100 minutes for Harry Kane. So there's not that much in it. So even though he missed a bunch of games,
he's going to score 6 goals in 300 minutes.
Yeah, there's not much in it. 2 assists for Harry Kane, 19 chances created for Harry Kane, 29 chances created for Aubameyang.
Who got those chances? Because we ain't scoring goals, so I wonder who got chances.
Well, remember, Pepe was 40, which is the most on our team, and Willian is 76. So Willian is creating more chances than Aubameyang and Pepe put together. That's why he's the finishing. That's why Willian is the plug. He's the thing that's going to make everything click. So, guys, we normally don't do the manager, but we're going to do the manager now.
I'm going to give mine quickly. I'll just sum it up quickly.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Aubameyang a 9. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on. While you're doing that, guys in the chat, can you give me a score for Arteta, the manager, please? Put your scores up for Arteta. Yeah, go on.
And I want to see some likes on this video, man. It's been almost 3 hours. It's almost midnight for me. Drop a like, man. You have to drop a like.
I also realized that yesterday on the Liverpool feed, they were giving a lot of money, actually. There was a lot of contributions to that. They had 1,000 people on the feed, and they were giving a lot of money.
Wow.
That's good.
Actually. Yeah. No, there are a lot of contributions. They're just flowing. Because they have a rich audience.
There's still time.
My take on Aubameyang is world-class goal scorer. Not world-class striker, world-class goal scorer. Hitman. I mean, that goal that he scored is just pure class. He made that on his own. Let's get that right. I mean, you know, only top players can do something like that, right? I mean, the Manes, the Salahs, the Agueros, that is the type of goals that they score. And frankly, again, I need to mention Sanchez. Sanchez could just take the ball like that and just he chipped the keeper. I don't know. I remember this one Champions League game, he chipped the keeper. I was like, what the hell is going on? That's the type of goals that, you know, world-class strikers score, and 9.5, and also I want to mention that penalty. I know he scores a lot of penalties, but there's still a lot of pressure. I know it's just a community shield, but he's taking that last penalty and he knows that he needs to score, and he sends the keeper the wrong way. I mean, what can you say? Pay the man what he wants. I saw Aubameyang's brother and Troops on the Instagram Live. It seems, that he was hinting that on tomorrow or Tuesday he's flying to London. And I mean, there's no other reason that he's flying to London apart from, being there when Aubameyang signs that new contract.
Yeah,
so we know it's done. Arsenal just need to announce it. And Aubameyang's going to keep on scoring. He's that player that we've needed, many seasons when we needed a goal scorer. And now that we have him, we have no midfield. It's just so Arsenal-like.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to do my Arteta. Actually, I think you got to go. So can you do Arteta's score?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 10. I do want to mention Apollo. I think his substitutions were too late. I know we won and stuff, but it's concerning that he waited that long because you could see that Liverpool were getting in the game. Tierney was done. Nketiah was done. As Tony said, 10 minutes too late. We needed to make those changes much earlier and put the legs in, whether it was Joe Willock. I mean, I'm surprised Smith Rowe didn't even get a chance to play. I really wanted to see him, and even Saliba. But you have to give him a 10. Stan Kroenke, give this guy the money. He is definitely the man to take us forward. Tactically, he outplayed Klopp. I mean, it's just incredible, and I'm so excited to see what he can do with this team if he gets the right players. So 10 out of 10 for me. Cheers, guys.
So, nice one, bro. Nice one, bro. So I'm going to go into... I gave him a 10, and I'm going to go into the tactics side of this game now. So, as I said, guys, Arsenal was set up as a 3-4-3, and they regularly had bodies behind the ball. And Arsenal needed to force the ball by creating angles in the midfield, and that is what upset Liverpool's rhythm. I'm showing you one of the things he done with the team right here. You can see Saka is pressing Robinson. Nketiah, as I said, his key role defensively in this game was to shut down Fabinho and make sure that the ball didn't go centrally and that it would be funneled on the side, and that's what he did. And all day, he ensured that Fabinho was starved of service in the midfield, and that was a fantastic defensive role from him. As you can see here, Elneny is on Mane. Look how tight these guys are, yeah? Sane, and again, I talk about playing gaps. This is a gap play here. So this from Saka. Make sure that this ball doesn't go through to Sane because he's clogging up the lanes, yeah? You can see he's trying to move here because he's forcing the ball this way. When he forces the ball that way, and the rondo play makes these two players shut him down. And that's why we saw Liverpool go backward quite a bit. The next shot here that we're looking at is, again, now this is a key figure to what happened with Saka defensively. Again, a few of the guys here talking about Saka didn't do nothing defensively. That wasn't true. Saka had shut down the passing lanes from Van Dijk, which is this way. This is where Van Dijk wants to go. But because of Xhaka, you can see here, Saka's shutting down this passing lane. You can see Nketiah here, again, stuck on Fabinho, which he was all day, not allowing that to be an option in the midfield, which is how Liverpool play. Liverpool always hit Fabinho in the middle first, and then the ball goes this way diagonally. We didn't allow them to do that. As Bertram said before a few times, if you stop Liverpool from playing their way, then it suffocates them and the ball is disjointed and their formation is disjointed. So here you can see Van Dijk just doesn't know where to go with the ball. He's got nothing on. And if he plays here to the right, Aubameyang then presses. So this is the tactics that Arteta played previously before. He used it against Man City. Let me get rid of this now. And he used it again with Liverpool in this game, and it was an absolute masterclass from Arteta. And as I said, by not allowing them to play the ball out left wide, this is the reason why Liverpool was contained into tight spaces. It's why Robinson was their player of the game, because we funneled that game over to one side. It was just an outstanding masterclass of tactics from Arteta. If I could give him more than a 10, I would, but for me, he gets a 10. Tony, you got the conch, bro.
Oh, that was a lot to take in. So we're just judging Arteta ball. Arteta ball is given for winning, or drawing, I guess, but being winning football, I give him a 9.5.
Excellent. 9
The only reason a half deduction from a 10 is the timings of the substitutions. But yeah, Arteta ball, we're loving it. It's back to watching good football. You know, sometimes in the Emery era, you were watching the football and going, this just looks horrible. You know, just now we can actually watch our team and go, yeah, even if we had lost that game, we would have gone, that was a good performance.
Agreed. So let's see what our guys. I think, did I read out the marks from the guys? Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't think I did. All right, let me go back. Here we go. Cricket Ball's given Arteta a 10. Moses has given Arteta a 10. Look how we spelt his name. Neomis has given him a 10. I thought that was a 10.2, Neomis. 2 trophies in 12 months. No, Neomis. 2 trophies in a month. 2 trophies in a month.
3 weeks.
Arteta's gonna get James has given him a 10. Teta's gonna get his job, won a trophy against the league winners. 10. Totally agree. T is giving him a 10. This guy is a beast. He has an obsession and vendetta, and giving the other managers something to fear about. Believe me, T, you're right, mate. They are fearing about this guy. They want Arsenal to fail. Yeah, they don't like what Arteta's doing right now. He's giving them the fear factor. While only Arsenal have slapped Liverpool twice. Totally agree. 18, 10.5. D is saying for his 2 cup wins. Tactical Mawns, bring back the winning habit for this club. Got to give him a 9.5. Would be a 10 had we gone as far in the Europa League. I think that's over the whole season. Let's have a look. That's a tactical breakdown. Yes, it is, mate. It is, and that's what I'm pointing at, because when I watched the game again, I was keen onto those 2 things. What were we doing to disrupt Liverpool? All these people saying Liverpool didn't play well. That Bertram's right. We made them not play well. Yeah, these are all tactics. First thing you do, stop the other team from playing, and that's where an Elneny is good, because if you got someone who can keep possession and is tidy and smart and good ball accuracy, then you don't get forced into mistakes. So I really like that. Any more scores here? Nitesh, 9 for Arteta and 5 in the second half. Tony, did you get your Arteta scoring? You're on mute.
So I gave the score already. It was 9.5 with the 0.5 being for the timing of the substitutes.
Wicked. Ebony, you got the conch.
I'm going to give him a 10. I mean, if you take into consideration where this team was 6, 7, 8, 10 months ago, it just doesn't seem like they're the same players. You know, he's actually worked his tactical nous, and he's got these players marking certain players in a way that wasn't being done under Emery. And that's not to take anything away from Emery. However, you know, he knows what he's doing, and you know, he's actually teaching these players how to play again, and he's actually getting the best out of them as well. But with regards to substitutions, he needs to make them a bit earlier and stop doing this Wengerized thing where he's doing it at 70 minutes plus. He needs to look at what's happening. If he sees players that are tired, take them off and replace them, but not after 70 minutes, but much before that. But I'll give him a 10 because to win 2 trophies in a month, he's just transformed the team into a team where we can actually say we're proud of.
Yeah, and the thing about the substitutions is a very, very difficult argument, because remember when Emery was making substitutions at halftime and all the Arsenal fans were marveling him, saying, brilliant, this guy makes substitution. And me, Tony and Bertrand was like, hold on a second. You're making halftime substitutions because you got it wrong. If you've got it wrong on the kickoff, that's why you're making substitutions, because you didn't get it right. Your preparation, the way how you set out to play was all wrong. So you're having to transform it that early because you messed up. So but that's just on the tactical side. What you're saying is right, and what Tony and Bertram are saying is right. If a player is fatigued, you got to get him off, because it's going to cost you. We know how these teams are fit physically and they run at you, and you have to keep the tempo right. I've seen, it's not the first time I've seen it from Arteta, where he's just left the player on the field who was gassed You got to get them off. So I agree with you. Bertram, you got the conch.
So when you're a position-oriented team, and you play in a team which dominate possession, because defense is not innate to you, you got to run a lot, right? And it's not innate to you, so it's even more challenging. So you can't afford to wait until the last minute to make substitution, especially in this environment where you have 5 substitutions. And it's supposed to be a charity game, not call it a charity game, but it's almost like a enhanced friendly, frankly, or preseason game. You want to be able to see who can do what, even though you may want to win, and it's a trophy. But you also have to be very mindful and careful. One is you don't get your players injured by playing them too much because they haven't trained a lot. And secondly, when they're tired, it's obviously tired, you got to take them off the field. I thought yesterday, even though, look, I gave him a 9.5. In fact, I gave him a 9, and I went to 9.5, gave him how well we played. But you have to do a better job of how you manage your team during the game. Now, he's been brilliant when we had the water timeout, because we're playing poorly in the water timeout. He speaks to them, and they go back and they're a different team when they go on the field. But you can't wait until what I call Wenger time to make changes in games where at one point, Neil mentioned that in a 5-minute period, Liverpool had 87% possession. That means you're running around for 5 minutes straight in a challenging environment without touching the ball, basically. So that takes a lot out of you. And he has to realize that and manage his team accordingly. But look, it's very obvious that he's a brilliant manager. My only concern about the team is that we seem to be, I don't want us to be in a case where we're happy to play good against Liverpool. I want other teams to fear us and we dominate possession versus we feel that we're not in the city and the Liverpool league, so we feel good to stay back, soak up the pressure, and beat them in a counter-attack. I want us to impose ourselves on teams. And frankly, last year, Watford imposed themselves on Liverpool. They played them twice. They beat them once easily, and the first game they should have beaten them 3-0.
I just want to quote you here, Bertrand, before you carry on. Remember, when Arteta took the job, the first thing he said to the fans in his interview, when we said, he was at the Emirates, the conference was here, he just got sworn in as head coach at the time. He said, I want to impose ourselves on teams. He said, I want to scare teams. I want to run at them, and I want to control the tempo of the game. So that's his philosophy. That's his game plan. He's not there yet because, he doesn't have the players to do it. But I think we've started to see a little bit of that now because, it's a bit like, why do I keep comparing everything to American football? It's a bit like what happens when you get a 700-page playbook and everything is reactive. You're just reacting to everything rather than being proactive. Once it's in your head and you've got the system down and you don't have to ask people what to do that's standing around you. You don't have to think about what you're going to do. You just react on it. And I think the longer this goes on, remember, Liverpool, Klopp has been there 4 or 5 years. Pepper's been there 4 or 5 years. These teams, they know what to do. The Arsenal players, they've had 6 months. 6 months. Well, 8 months with Arteta. Yeah. So they haven't even had a year in the system. Imagine how good these guys can be when they start playing proactive football, when everybody knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to press, how they're supposed to position. At the moment, we're still figuring it out. This is beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I believe we have to get the Thiagos and the Partey's, because what I realize with Thiago is he doesn't know what pressure is. Yeah. I watch him play for Bayern. There's no such thing as pressure. In fact, you may pressure yourself trying to pressure him because he's going to make a good pass or get by you. Same thing with Partey. We have to get players in the midfield who can keep the ball. I'm not going to knock Xhaka or Elneny because they're the best we have right now. The guy knocked Nketiah, so why am I knocking them? But they're old players. They're not going to get any better. We have to utilize them until we can get better players. And right now, we don't have the money to spend to go buy young, excellent players. We got to take off the scrappy people who are, close to retirement like William or Thiago or those players to help bridge that gap between now and when we can get those younger, better players can be here for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so that's it from us today. Really appreciate the input from the chat. I think this is the longest show we've ever done. I've never gone over the 3-hour period, but I wanted to take my time today because we ain't going to have football for quite a while now. So this was a show that we were just going to have fun with it and celebrate, guys. Champioli. We're just winning right now. Winning is starting to look good on this team. And for Arteta, it's a good habit to have. When you're a team that wins, it's just a great feeling. And I want us to enjoy it and embrace it, have fun with it. And let's not try and be too negative about the team. As look, it's great if we can see everybody clicking on all cylinders, but this is a work in progress. And I tell everybody all the time on one-on-one forums, on YouTube, pamper your expectations. Don't try to run before you can walk. There's work to do here, and the work we can see that's happening, I'm really, really happy with what I'm seeing. But listen, control your expectations. Tony, closing arguments.
Yeah, I like to temper my expectations, but my expectations will never cease to aspire to what this club is all about. Listen, I'm surrounded by history and legacy. You know, you're seeing the old Adidas, you're seeing the old Arsenal badge. You know, this is a club that I've supported for over 40 years. And the legacy is one of championship winning, is one of good football, and I will always expect that of this team. My expectations are never anything short of competing for the league title. You know, I totally expect us to never ever do another invincible year. I don't expect anybody to do that. However, to get to that standard where you can go out on a pitch and expect to win against certain opposition, that's my expectation of this club. But guys, thank you very much. Been emotional as always. Great chatting. Catch up with you next week.
Good. And before I go to Ebony's closing statements, the Goon Squad numbers there, guys. If you want to join a WhatsApp live wicked piece of banter up to the second updates of Arsenal, bring your A game, and there's the number on the screen. So use that number and contact T and join the Arsenal family. There's a whole heap. I think the last time I counted, it was like over 70 people. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on there. But there's 100. Yeah. So that, guys, it's live. It's happening. It never stops rolling, and it's a beautiful place to be on if you want instant Arsenal banter. Ebony,
the banter is real. The banter is real. And by the way, salute up to all my Goon Squad guys. Love you guys. Like cook food. Great to meet some of you guys in the flesh recently. And guys, if you want to really get into some banter, these guys are the real deal.
So we've got, before you go, Ebony, Nitesh is saying Socrates to Napoli is done. I think that's about 6 million that deal was. But he's on, he's on what, 70, 80 grand a week. So that's going to help. That's really going to help. So listen, big up to you, Nitish, for that information there. Ebony.
What I'm going to say is that, you know, we can only move on from here. You know, Arteta, he's doing a good job with what he has. Just remember that. And the other thing to remember is that we're not going to go out and spend 70, 80 million pounds on a player. So Arsenal fans really do need to, you know, expect that. You know, we did it before. Yes, we have on Pepe. It wasn't that money wasn't paid straight away, and I still think we're still paying off for him. But at the end of the day, Arteta has got what he has at his disposal, and he has done well with it. So, on that note, I would say the fact that we beat Liverpool twice, we've won 2 trophies within 3 weeks. That should be the impetus to go on to win much bigger things. And it's high time now that we actually moved on to winning in Europe. And we can do it. We can do it. You know, if you could beat Liverpool, we've beaten Man City, we've beaten Man United, you know, we beat Chelsea. We can go on and do bigger things.
Yeah, and listen, remember, the reason why I said we were going to finish in the top 4, because we have that chart that says in 26 league games, Arteta, in Arteta's time when he's taken over, he has the 3rd best record.
And we can get top 4. You know, I mean, some people might say, oh, well, you know, we're not going to get top 4, we're going to get top 6, bearing in mind that we came 8th. But you have to, as far as I'm concerned,
judge the manager on what he's done. Yeah, judge the manager on what he's done. Yeah.
Bertram, as a manager, he's done all right.
Bertram, closing statement from you, bro.
So we got 6 million for Socrates. that can pay the agent fee for Partey.
4.5 million. Yeah.
Oh, 4.5 million.
Yeah,
so
euros. So that's 4 million. Yeah, it's 4 million.
So that may just be the agent fee for Partey if it's about 10%. You still need 74 million for Partey and for Alcantara. You still need the amount of money. But Man U just bought Van Beek actually for 40 mil. So they're strengthening. I think it'll be the most competitive Premier League ever next year, even without the fans in the stand. Because City is strengthened. Liverpool hasn't strengthened, but they're very good. And they're going to struggle to make top 4 next year, I think. That may sound strange me saying that. Man U is strengthening, but the defense is still leaky. And Chelsea, even though they're strengthened, the defense is still leaky. So we can make top 4 with a team.
They bought Malang Sarr. They bought Malang Sarr. But
they're loaning him out. They're loaning him out. They're not playing. They're loaning him out. They're loaning him out to some place in Germany. So we'll have Aubameyang on the left, Aubameyang, Laka, and Pepe. William behind that 3. Partey and Alcantara in the middle, supported by Gabriel, Saliba, and Tierney, and Maitland-Niles to the right. We have a very good team with Luiz and Bellerin on the bench. If we can get that straightened out, we're going to win the league, not focus on this top 4 nonsense. Because when Wenger was here, we said top 4 was not a trophy. So I'm not sure when it became a trophy.
It became a trophy when we weren't in it and everybody else was. That's when we realized.
Tottenham started getting in there.
Tottenham. I said this to you guys last week. Tony, Bertram, and I said to you guys that the difficult position that these teams in, which is Sheffield. Yep, brilliant. Cheers, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Take care.
You know, Sheffield United.
And by the way, Chelsea's
Wolves.
got Thiago Silva and Chilwell in the back 4 now. Don't forget.
Thiago Silva is 35 years old, and yes, Chilwell is better.
Yeah, so all these teams are going to need a
that.
squad because the games are more compact now. So you need more of a squad. So those teams like Wolves, Sheffield, United, all those teams, Burnley, Everton, they're going to struggle because they don't have a squad. But that's it.
Everton is getting better. Everton is getting a good midfield. They're buying what's his name from Napoli? Was it Sand? They're buying the kid from Real Madrid, who's bounced around quite a bit from Colombia. And they already have Gomez in their middle. So everyone is going to get better.
Yeah,
everyone's going to get better.
We'll get better. We'll get better.
Yeah,
we have gotten better, and we have the best goalkeeper in football, in world football, frankly. And I actually believe that. Not just saying that because I haven't seen a better keeper. The Milan keeper is well rated. Man U keeper has lost whatever he had, and this is probably his Henderson's better than he is, frankly. I don't see a better keeper in world football, frankly.
Yeah, so, I agree.
So we'll see what happens, but hopefully in 2 weeks' time, we'll all be smiling after play for them. And not only smiling, that we're playing very good football. I just don't want to win. I want to win with class. So,
and we'll see that. Look, Willian, Pepe, Gabriel. Listen, this just Saliba. I think we're getting there, bro. We beat this Liverpool team without any of those players. That's a good place to be, Bertram.
We beat Liverpool twice, but to me, they're still not convincing wins. I don't want to play Liverpool where they have 70%. No, Apollo.
We don't know what winning ugly looks like. We don't know what winning ugly looks like.
We've been winning ugly for the whole second half of the season.
I'd agree with that.
And listen,
we know what it looks like.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are brilliant. You guys are the reason why we do this. It's absolutely a pleasure to not only do this show for you guys, but have you being a part of it. That's what we're all about in 101. If you're not subscribed to the Facebook page, then please, the description is in the link below. And come and join the family. We have been going for 7 years. It's a hard job, and we love the community. And it's a respectful community. It's taken time for us to get it to where it is, and it's a lot of banter in there. But people respect each other and they respect your views, and that's what's important in the fan base. But I love the input from you guys, and I love your player ratings. Always a pleasure to see. And as I said, thanks for all the donations you guys make to the channel. Really, really means a lot. And I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it, but I'm saying it because you guys actually pay for this content. And that's what's important. I want you guys to understand that whatever you watch, when you're seeing us up here, you're allowing for this to happen, because the money you were giving to the channel is allowing it to be a better channel and having us to use this platform to reach out to all of you guys. So it's very important that you guys understand that every penny you put into the YouTube channel is really going forward to making it what it is. So listen, love you guys, man. Peace out. We're going to be back on Wednesday, and we're going to look at some more topics and actually have a run at looking at the first 2 months. We're going to predict what the first 2 month scores are going to be. We didn't get around to doing it last week. And listen, big respect, man. Peace. Right back at you. Love you guys, man. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.